Today, I'm going to live 100 days in the newest Minecraft version, 1.22, on Hardcore Game difficulty. I will have to find a new sniffer mob, find a camel, build a house in a new cherry biome craft, a new netherite armor, defeat 2 warden in a hard fight for life, kill a wither boss outside my house, and finally defeat an ender dragon. But that's just a drop in the bucket of what I have to do in the next 100 days. Give me a like. Make some tea, sit back. First day, I started picking up everything under my feet, since I was going to travel until I found the cherry biome. I was foraging for food and gathering wool for a bed, and I started to get wood. I needed a lot of it. I decided to make an axe so I wouldn't waste my precious time chopping wood by hand. With 10 minutes to go until nightfall, I crafted a bed and decided to move on. As soon as night falls, I can skip it. I gather all the food I see and make a pickaxe. I found a cave and decided to get some coal. It'll come in handy. My first day has come to an end. On day 2, I decided to move on. Got the iron and coal I found in the same cave, and decided to camp in the woods to smelt the iron and fry food. At the same time, I get more food so that I don't have problems with hunger in the future. It's deadly in hardcore, and I decided to get some more wood to keep myself busy while food is roasting. Evening came and I went straight to bed. On the morning of the 3rd day, I packed up all my things and decided to move on. To move on, or rather swim. I found the ocean. I found some nice-looking turtles. I killed one of them and decided to give them new offspring so they wouldn't be sad. I found the first treasure chest in the jungle by going through the world's toughest traps and getting an arrow in the forehead. I got to the chest, which contained several items of great value to me. 2 diamonds, 2 forging templates, and some bones. Day 4 was just traveling, nothing of interest. Day 5, on day 5, I decided to get some leather for my armor, which, by the way, would soon save my life when I'm down to half my hap in a fight with skeletons. Without it, I'd be dead. I set up camp again and put food on the grill. Day 6, I packed all my stuff and decided to move on. I felt that soon I would finally find the cherry biome, but I was wrong. I continued on my way. I found the pumpkins and I picked them. For the next 3 days, I just ran, slept, ran, and so on. Day 9, I finally found something. It was the villager's village. Unfortunately, not a cherry biome, but not bad either. I took some potatoes from the chest and stole some hay from the villagers, helped them harvest, and the day was coming to an end. I decided to spend the night at the villagers, and in the morning I wrote down the coordinates. I put all my stuff out and decided to go to the cave for a while. Because I was just tired of running endlessly, I decided to stay here for a while. Day 10, 13, I spent the next 3 days in the cave collecting various resources, fighting monsters and almost dying at one point. I decided it was time to get out of the cave, or else luck might not be on my side next time. I have half a heart left, and this is the moment I'm glad I made the leather armor. Otherwise, my survival would have been over. So, after collecting all the diamonds, I decided it was time to move on and look for the cherry biome. But before I do that, I have to get the stuff from the village that I left behind. Day 14, it started with me looting the residence, taking all my stuff and going to look for the cherry biome next. Since I spent a lot of days on it, it was the principle of finding it, so I didn't stop for a minute. I found another village, didn't find anything interesting there, harvested the crops, and went to sleep on the resident's bed. Day 15, I borrowed a potion maker from the villagers, and while running around the neighborhood, I found an abandoned portal. I decided to take it so I wouldn't have to search for obsidian for the portal in different caves. I acquired more leather because I wanted to make a table for enchanting. I was already level 20, so I hoped to enchant my items at least a couple levels. Back in the village, I went to bed. Day 16, on the road again. Nothing interesting again, and sleeping again. Day 17, on day 17. I finally found what I was looking for, a sakura biome. I was mesmerized by its beauty, and immediately started collecting all the pink stuff that was there, harvesting wood for the house I decided to build. I finally decided to build on the 17th day. The next 5 days were spent building the Sakura Mansion. During these days, I managed to fight with robbers and tame a dog, which I named Cherry. I made a small house for her and settled her in my home. By the way, I got the Mark of Brigands, and in the future she will play against me and my village of villagers. But now I was only thinking about finishing the house. I think it turned out to be very beautiful and cozy. On day 24, I made an enchantment table and realized I was missing bookshelves. So I went back to collecting leather and reeds. And while I was doing that, I fell into a cave and found lots of emeralds. Yes, emeralds. Not diamonds, not gold, but a whole bunch of emeralds. I don't know how I got so lucky, probably because I was looking for anything but emeralds. I don't need them yet. I decided to make a portal to hell. At the time, I didn't know that the crafting of netherite armor had been changed. And now it takes a lot of work to make it. By the way, an ingot of Nesserite is now made of 4 netherite ores and 5 gold ingots, so I will have to work very hard. While I was making the portal, I was attacked by zombies who didn't want to let me go to hell, but I finally got there. I got some resources like quartz or lightstone and decided to start looking for ancient wreckage. I only found one piece, but it took me 3 days to find it, and I went back to my world disappointed. Day 31, I appeared in my world but very far from my home. And it took me all day 31 to find it. Day 32, I found my home in the evening and finally came back. Day 33, I'm going back to hell to try the internet's trick to get netherite with dynamite. By the way, later I will try this method again. But there will be more dynamite, and the method is not very effective. In the end, I started digging by hand and didn't find a single piece of netherite. On the 37th day, I was already home. Disappointed with the loot, I went to the village to the villagers, hoping to find something interesting. And then I realized that there were 4 minutes left until the end of the bandits' mark, and I was already in the village, so... Yes, bandits raided our village. I had some food and arrows, so I fought to the end. I killed all the waves of bandits, but they kept coming and coming. The iron golem helped me a bit, but only afterwards. I ran out of food and arrows, so I had to hit them with my sword. Due to the lack of food, my hop was not recovering, and I retreated. They looted the village and left. Those who stayed were killed by me, but the village was abandoned forever. I stayed the night with the villagers and mourned them. Day 30, 8:45, I went to hell again in hopes of finding netherite. I stopped relying on life, hack, and decided to just dig by hand. This paid off, and I finally started finding ancient shards. In 7 days in hell, I found 12 such shards. I found a hell fortress where I was almost killed 4 times by Ifrites. But I was able to defeat them and break the Spavaner, so now the issue with Ifrits is solved for the rest of my survival, because I gained a whole bunch of them while I was making my way to the fortress. Now I won't need the wands for the rest of my survival, and I won't be looking for them. I actually almost died 4 times fighting them off. On the 46th day, I found myself very far from home again, and spent all day looking for it. But I made it home. Day 46, on day 46, I started making netherite ingots. And then I realized that not only ingot making has become more complicated in the new version, but also armor making. Now, to turn diamond armor into netherite armor, you need special blacksmithing templates, and you can engrave different materials on the armor. For example, I almost spent 1 netherite just to decorate diamond boots with it. 5-day trying to find a few dungeons that might have templates for armor upgrades while looking for a camel, horse, or snuffer, but so nothing. But on day 51, when I made a stone of return showing by compass where my home was. Near my house stood a traveling trader who sold me the slime needed for the range to bring home. I decided to dig myself a cave with markers ranging from 100 in height to 5 so that I could constantly choose the height I needed and quickly find the resources I needed. It took me 3 days to find all the resources I needed, and when I got to the end, I put chests, stoves, and workbenches at each height. Then I found a cave and decided to explore it a bit. I found a lot of diamonds and spawners. In total, I found 5 spider spawner, 1 skeleton spawner, and 1 zombie spawner. Day 58, I came back from the cave and made a diamond armor and a pickaxe, which I enchanted to efficiency 4 and luck 3. In the future, something will happen with this pickaxe. But you'll see for yourself later. I also decided to make a golem. But in the new version of Minecraft, it's not as easy as it used to be because now you have to carve a pumpkin, which I didn't know about, and so I was a little bit stupid. But I made a golem, and finally my house is protected by a golem. But it won't live long because zombies and skeletons keep showing up and killing it. So I decided to make a fence, and now I don't need a golem. I just don't need a golem because I lighted the whole area and closed everything with a fence. So now my yard is protected and no monsters will just appear here. I finished the fence and completely protected my house. Now I decided to go to the cave to get some levels and enchant my stuff. I found some diamonds and killed some zombies. Now I can enchant my stuff and get a bit stronger. In the future, I will have to fight some bosses in the future. So good. Armor will come in handy. Day 63, I called a friend for help because finding a netherite alone is incredibly difficult, and I'm going to find a camel and a snuffer. So 2 pairs of hands are better than 1. So I gave him some armor and all the tools he needed, some food, and we decided to set out to find what we needed. But first of all, we decided to tame horses so we could ride them. We spent a lot of time on the road, but it was worth it. We enchanted all the armor and waited for the morning. After enchanting all the armor and waiting for morning, we immediately went in search of horses. We tamed horses and spent 64 days riding them. For the next 3 days, we just ran to the ocean shore to find destroyed underwater structures and use a paintbrush to dig up a snuffer egg. Day 68, 69, we found the ocean and decided to leave the horses tied to a tree. We made boats and traveled the ocean. We found a treasure map and decided to dig it up. In the chest was the heart of the sea and some other junk. I don't plan on looking for any more treasure. Day 72, we continued our journey and found a shipwreck that was full of junk. Day 73, after 5 days, I found what I was looking for, but couldn't dig up the snuffer egg. Unfortunately, my journey wasn't over having dug up all the suspicious sand. I continued my search for more wrecked structures underwater, so on day 80, I finally found another structure, and my friend and I split up to find what we needed faster. But even that way, it was very difficult to find them. But anyhow, I got the snuffer egg, and I'm very happy about it. I fought off the drowned men and got the shell. And I decided to swim home. Day 84, we are home, and the sniffer egg is hatching little by little. I am enchanting things as I got a lot of experience while looking for the sniffer. And now my armor and weapons are even stronger. Now I've started brewing a fire resistance potion to go to hell with my friend. In the meantime, the snuffer had hatched and I finally had another pet. Grabbing a friend, dynamite, and a diamond pickaxe, we headed to hell. To get more netherite, I accidentally blew up a pig zombie with dynamite and they almost ate me. But it worked out and we started digging. A little later we found the infernal fortress and decided to explore it. I was very lucky and found a lot of useful things there, like the wither skull and 2 netherite upgrade templates. We decided to go back to digging netherite again and we went digging. A lot of digging. I didn't notice how quickly my diamond pick broke, and although I mined a lot of netherite, I lost my luck 3 and efficiency 4 picks. So I had to dig myself a portal to get back home. We showed up in some cave, and it turned out that my friend had an iron pickaxe the whole time. So we quickly dug out of the cave and returned home. When I got to my house, I made an anvil and decided to craft non-silver items. Unfortunately, due to my own mistake, I used all the blacksmith template and didn't copy them. Now I have to look for them again, but I was lucky enough to enchant my pickaxe and I wasn't too upset. Our sniffer ran away from the house a few times and each time it was a big problem to get him back, so I rebuilt my fence a bit. I made more netherite and was going to make netherite armor. But I remembered that I spent all the blacksmith templates, so I'll have to settle for diamond armor. I got a call from a friend saying the sniffer had escaped again. We took him home again, and this time did it so he definitely wouldn't get out over the fence again. I went back to the mine, but without a friend. He left, and I needed diamonds. While I was digging a cave, I found a biome of Varden, and decided to try to kill him. Returned to the cave with iron blocks and the fight began. But I ran out of iron in the second Varden I cannot overcome. So I just ran away. That would not die with the golem when I returned home. I made a grave for the golem who saved me at the cost of his life. Now his grave will always be under the cherry tree. I then began crafting and enchanting my bows to create 1 mega bow, which I named Dragon Killer, and finally met the mega bow that would save my life in the future. Finally, the sniffer has grown up, and our friend is now an adult and on his own. I hope. I went to hell again to find the templates of the blacksmith and create a cool armor with his help. Finally, I found the ruins of hell where there was a lot of useful loot, but the defenders of this fortress were very strong, and I had to long and hard to fight them off. But in the end, everything turned out as I planned, and I found those templates of the blacksmith. I also collected here a lot of gold, diamonds, and other resources that will be useful to me in the future, as well as in the chest was a very good diamond pickaxe, which I also decided to take. And the most important thing is a new music record, which is very difficult to find in Minecraft. At home, I immediately started copying the blacksmith's templates and making netherite armor and tools. You can congratulate me. Now all my armor is made of netherite and I'm ready to kill the wither boss, but first I went to the mine and mined some diamonds with my new pickaxe to make some night. engravings on my armor, then I made a turntable and listened to the new record. The music is not very good, so I will not include it to you if you want to listen to it yourself, but believe me, it is not what I expected. But I decided to dance to it anyway, not for nothing. I was looking for it for. After my armor was ready, I decided to finish my sword and make myself all the tools, including axe and shovel. Now I am fully ready to kill the boss, but for that I need the skulls of the wither skeletons. So I go to hell and will be long and hard mining. I met some endermen and decided to get pearls from them that I will need to find the dragon fortress. So without wasting an opportunity, I mine everything I see and go on traveling through hell. I finally found the fortress and started killing wither skeletons. After all the skulls were collected, I went to make a portal and came back home, made an eye and food, and finally I called the boss. This is one of the strongest bosses. And if I did not have my bow, I would not have been able to cope with him. He is very strong and dangerous, and the place I chose was not quite suitable for killing him. But in the evening, I finally defeated him on the verge of death and went to look for the fortress of Henda at once. But thank God everything worked out and I survived. No regrets, and we move on. I go looking for the fortress of the end to kill the dragon. In 100 days, I didn't manage to do everything I planned. So if you want, I will record 200 days of survival in this world, but I decided to end my 100 days on the dragon, since this is the final boss. I started to break his crystals. The dragon is a very weak boss, and to be honest, his minions were much more problematic than he is. After fighting off the Enderman, I started to beat the dragon. He threw me back a few times, but in the end I dealt with him and collected all the experience that fell from him and finished my survival on this. Will you put likes and subscribe to my channel? Thanks for watching and see you later. Bye everybody.
Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to my icy world where the temperature reaches minus 70 degrees Celsius. It's cold here, very cold. It took me 100 days to survive in the permafrost, spending Christmas in a world where there is only snow. I'm going to build the biggest Christmas house and the world's biggest Christmas tree with toys. But first, I need to survive the global freeze because I added a mod for temperature. If my body temperature drops to the limit, I will die. If I don't drink purified water, I'll die. I'll need to make warm fur clothes that won't let me freeze constantly, put up fires to warm up, and even make a sauna. I'll ride Santa's sleigh and make his armor, kill the visor in the bowels of hell for the Christmas star, and go to the world of the land to fight and defeat the Ender Dragon, and also to find New Year's elites. So after 100 days of complete hardcore, sit back and enjoy watching everyone. Day 1, the first day, will be an introductory day for me, so I am immune to the cold for the whole day. From the morning of the second day, I'll have a thirst indicator and a temperature indicator. So I need to hurry to make myself a shelter in which I can warm myself and get water in some way so that I do not die of thirst. I spawned near an abandoned village and immediately started cutting down a tree. I get some stone to make stone tools and go to the village. I want to see what is there. Maybe I can find something valuable or useful that will help me not to freeze in the cold. I noticed that all the houses in the village were overgrown with cobwebs. Maybe I could make woolen armor out of it and warm up in the cold, as well as make a bed. I began to collect all the cobwebs that hung on the houses. This is a real gift for me. I found a potato farm that for some reason did not freeze, but I feel better, not a bad start. I already have some wool and food. All I have to do is find shelter for the first few days and light a fire to warm myself near it. I found the librarian's house and took the books he didn't need anymore. Later I will make myself an enchantment and also killed a sheep. I think I can stay in this village for a few days now. I can't move around the world as I will freeze very quickly. I will have to make a shelter here and wait until I can make woolen armor and some fires, as well as a sleigh for driving in the snow. I found that there is a bandit base not far from the village, but I'm not ready to go to them yet. I'll leave it for the future. Maybe I can get a couple of immortality totems there. They would definitely be useful to me. I started to extract wood from the old houses of the villagers. I need to make charcoal to create a fire and torches, as well as to fry food. I dug up more potatoes and returned home. See what the doors look like in the New Year's style. It gives a Christmas mood. I started making charcoal and made my first fire. I will put it in the house so that it is warm here. And I will also make 2 chests to put all my things. By the way, the chests are also changed. They look like New Year's gifts. It is very beautiful. I make even more charcoal and go to the cave. It would have hurt me to find iron and coal. After all, it's night and I don't have much time left before I start to freeze and want to drink. After frying potatoes and making a few stairs to go down to the cave, I start digging. I don't have much time. I need to hurry. I hope I get lucky and find something. I started digging deeper. I was digging in turbo mode and managed to break my pickaxe. Made 2 more and kept digging until morning came. Even being in the caves, I would freeze because the whole world is a continuous winter. I did everything in my power and was able to find someone. I am very lucky because in the first days of survival in the frosty world, every wrong action can lead to death. You need to be very careful, so I took a fire with me just in case. In general, I spent the whole night digging a cave, but then I realized that the morning came. I had 2 new indicators, an indicator of water and body temperature. I need to go home and make sure that these indicators are normal. From that day on, my survival changes radically and becomes several times more difficult. I made a shield and went outside. The sun had already risen, and all the monsters began to burn, by the way. Now all the monsters are wearing cute New Year's sweaters. A skeleton has climbed into my house, and I will have to kick it out of my shelter, since the zombies and the skeleton are burned in the sun. And it will not be difficult to kill them. I have a new problem. I started to freeze. My leather armor is not enough. To warm up, I thought that the stove would be able to warm me, but unfortunately it also does not give enough heat. So I put a fire and decided to stand near it until I warm up. In order not to freeze, I need to make clothes from wool. It will allow me to move in the snow and not get frostbite. It will completely remove the problem of cold. But it has little durability and armor. I will have to constantly get wool for it as well as be careful. Aircraft. Since the monsters will be able to easily kill me. I also noticed that my thirst level dropped, which means that I need to start purifying water for drinking. I need to make a water purifier in which I can purify ordinary water, as it can be poisoned. I went to the frozen lake near my house to get some sand and make bottles in which I could collect water and then clean it and drink it. I took a fire with me, and for good reason. By the time I got to the lake, I started to freeze, and if there was no fire, most likely I would have just frozen right next to this lake and become another block of ice. Rather, I say, I made several bottles and filled them with water from the lake, after which I quickly ran home so as not to freeze. Now I have to run from fire to fire, so I urgently need to make woolen armor. After warming up by the fire, I found an interesting discovery. Iron rods have been replaced with garlands. They will be useful to me in the future to decorate my house, and in the meantime I will make a sleigh. They will allow me to move quickly in the snow, and I want to say that this is the best thing I've crafted from wood. They are simply irreplaceable, especially at the beginning of survival. It seems that they will make my life much easier. All day I did my work in the house, heated on a sleigh and melted everything down. And at night I went out to get some wood, since I didn't have a single block left. My second day of survival has come to an end, but just look at the beautiful northern lights right now over my house. This world is simply beautiful. Comets fly by in the sky and stars fall. The constellations together with the moon illuminate the snow lying on the ground and show the way. What beauty! Where else would I see it if not in a world of snow? Before going to bed, I threw wood into the stove to get charcoal and warm myself near the fire to purify the water you need to put bottles of water and charcoal in the purifier. I decided to make more bottles of purified water as I thought it worked the same way as with the stove and wasted 1 charcoal for 8 bottles of water. So you need to fill all the bottles with water. I got on the sleigh and drove straight to the frozen lake to fill all my empty bottles with water. It's very cold outside and there are a lot of monsters around, so I need to quickly get water and return home so as not to get hurt. I got on the sleigh and drove home. I started to freeze a little, but now I will have a lot of purified water. I am very worried that I will not get home and will freeze. The sleigh goes downhill very slowly and my body temperature drops rapidly. I may have big problems. I urgently need to go to the fire. I barely managed to get home. My movement was slow and I almost froze to the ground. But still I got to the fire and began to warm up, at the same time making purified water. Before going to bed I decided to drink water, eat fried potatoes and warm up. Now I can go to bed. Good night, friends. The next morning I left the house and after fighting off the zombies, I realized that I needed to change something. I wanted to collect enough thread and wool to make myself an insulated armor. Then I would be able to move around the world almost freely. There would be one problem, and that was the monsters, who would still be able to kill me easily. Now, I will collect absolutely all the cobwebs that are in this settlement. This should be enough for me. I will have to get some cobwebs, craft things, and heat myself by the fire, and then go again to get cobwebs, because so far I cannot stay outside for a long time, due to the threat of frostbite. I got enough cobwebs for almost a full set of woolen clothes. So I'm going home. I need to warm up a little. In 2 passes, I'll manage and the freezing will be over. I've returned home, crafted things, and go on to mine the web. I found a deposit of coal. So I decided not to miss it and quickly extract all the coal. The fuel will be useful to me. I completely clean all the houses from cobwebs, collect all the threads. It turned out to be quite a lot of them. At the moment, I even got carried away and collected more than necessary. But it will not be superfluous. I crafted a bib and a full set of wool armor is ready. Now I can finally go to explore the world and move away from my fire. Now the world is open to me and I can just go outside, get some air, look at the snowy hills without fear of freezing to death because now I have wonderful fur armor. I got on my sleigh and went to collect everything I could get my hands on. I collected a sugar cane because it will be useful to me in the future to create books and sugar. I also found a frozen lake, in which there was a small piece of water in which there was a lot of coal, and I decided to mine it. Now all resources are very important. Soon I have a long journey, so I have to prepare for it. While I was extracting all the coal from the lake, evening slowly came, and I saw the beauty of this winter world for the first time at night, because before that I did not have time to admire all the beauty of this world. I was in a hurry to get home as quickly as possible so as not to freeze. But now I look directly at this beautiful northern lights and I cannot take my eyes off it. It's a pity that I have to go home because soon there will be a lot of monsters, but I'm sure I'll have time to see this beauty. I'll definitely find time for it. And now it's time for me to go home. On the way I found pumpkins and decided to take them with me. I think they will be useful to me. Maybe I will create a golem or make a pumpkin pie. Or maybe I will make a snowman. In general, I think I definitely need them when I return home. I made garlands out of 6 iron ingots and decided to decorate my house with them. It looks very beautiful. I think in the future when I get more iron I will make them bigger and decorate everything around with them. On the morning of the 4th day I finally gathered my strength and found my sleigh. I decided to go on a journey in search of a Santa village. This village contains a villager who sells things to Santa Claus, but this village is incredibly rare and finding it is a very big problem. Especially in my icy world, I traveled around the world on a sleigh for several days. I just can't imagine how long I would have had to walk if the sleigh just wasn't there. I drove through a beautiful coniferous forest, all decorated with Christmas toys, huge ice mountains and lakes, but I still had a long way to go. I hope that by the evening I will be able to find shelter because if a snowstorm starts and a lot of monsters spawn, it will be very difficult for me to survive. I know that nothing depends on me, and if I find a village, I will be very lucky. But I still hope for my luck, and want to find Santa Claus's village as soon as possible. Thank goodness, I finally found the village. I drove a third of the night, and I already thought that I'd definitely not find anything until morning. But I was lucky, and I came to my first village. It turned out to be a winter village, but unfortunately not a Santa Claus village. But even so, I am glad, because I have a shelter for the night. It is very beautiful and cute here, and also I can replenish my supply of resources before I go further in search of the village I need. I quickly take everything I need, and also I will spend the night here, so as not to go at night, since there are really a lot of monsters and they can break my sleigh and kill me. By the next night I found another village, this time a very ordinary one, with standard inhabitants, without any privileges, but I still decided to stay here for the night and collect some more resources. By the way, I am still not sure about the existence of Santa Claus Village. I'm already so tired on the road that I just can't believe that I can find it. Stay guys, it seems that I have found exactly what I was looking for. Look, this merchant sells New Year's treats, and if I can level him up high enough, then he will sell me Santa Claus armor. I need to get more of these candies and I will do it the next night. I know that white candies fall from zombies and skeletons with a 20% chance, and red candies from spiders also have a 25% chance. It turns out that I will have to kill a whole bunch of mobs in order to get armor. In the beginning everything went well and I killed monsters in small groups of 2 to 4 monsters, but since I was right on the plane and all the monsters from the area came to me, then over time they surrounded me and began to beat me in turn. Everything would be fine, but my armor, as you remember, has little durability and soon it will all break, which means I'm going to have a new problem. It's the cold. I have to be careful, otherwise I risk dying right in the middle of this plane. I made a fire to scare away the monsters, restored some HP and went to the lake to drink at least some water, because without it my HP does not recover anymore. Replenishing all my supplies and restoring HPI began to continue to beat mobs and knock out. Since I was not very ready for this night, I farmed relatively few candies. But on the other hand, I gained invaluable experience and now I know how to do it more effectively. I returned to the village and began to pump my resident so that he would move to a new level and start selling new items. By the way, you can buy a gift from him to make more New Year's villagers. I spent absolutely all the candies to level up my villager and bought a few gifts from him. I think soon he will start selling Santa Claus armor. And now I decided to put gifts in the house and wait for the appearance of new Santa villagers. I wondered if they were different in some way or they were all the same. After that, I decided to collect the hay that was lying under the snow near the villager's house. I'll be able to make my own bread and I'll have more food, and after night falls I'll go kill monsters and knock out candy. And so on until I buy myself Santa's armor. I took all the Christmas cakes that I bought from the New Year's villager and waited until night to continue collecting candies. I still need a lot of candy. After being attacked by baby zombies, some parts of my armor broke and I had to immediately look for sheep to make my armor. Otherwise I would just die of cold. It's a good thing I left my campfire here a couple of days ago, and it allowed me to survive for a while until I found enough wool for armor. I had some wool with me, and I immediately made part of the armor, but it was not enough for a full set, and I had to stand by the fire and look for sheep on the horizon because I could not leave the fire for a long time. Ciao? Any more nado? It took me a third of the night, and while I was getting wool, I also fought off monsters and even managed to knock out a couple of candies. I went back to the village, and I really had a lot of candy. But I didn't even expect that Santa's armor would be so expensive. I had enough candy just to level up a villager and buy a Santa hat and Santa boots. I will have to spend a couple more days fighting mobs to buy a full set. But although it is not easier to get than netherite. Or maybe it's more difficult because netherite can just be dug up in hell. In terms of armor, Santa's armor is equal or even slightly better than netherite. So the issue with armor will be closed for me. Although there is a problem, and it is that this armor does not warm me in the cold. There is a way out, but it is quite difficult. I will have to enchant my chest at level 30 and get an enchantment that will keep the body temperature stable. By the way, this will come in handy for me. Because it's very hot in hell and I can burn there. So I have to enchant my chest piece for this enchantment in order to complete the entire Minecraft as a whole. I have a lot of white candies. So you only need to get red ones, and they fall from spiders. So right now I will have to go kill as many spiders as possible and hope that they will drop a lot of candy. Yeah, I want to try on Santa Claus things as soon as possible. With the onset of night, I immediately began to kill spiders. I ignored the other mobs and only hit the spiders. There were quite a few of them, so I was very inspired, and all night I killed them. I managed to be attacked by phantoms, but I quickly coped with them. I replenished the water supply by the lake and fought until the morning. The night turned out to be very difficult, because the constant snowfall, which did not stop by the morning, constantly covered me with snow, and it was difficult to see anything, which made it difficult to find spiders. By morning, I returned to my village and finally I am ready to buy Santa's armor. I hope the candies I got are enough for me. Let's hurry to the villager. Let's see what we can buy from him with these candies. In the meantime, with cozy Christmas music, look at how beautiful the village looks during the snowfall. It's just beautiful. I love winter. Okay, friends, this is all very nice, but we need to buy ourselves Christmas things. So let's go quickly to the villager and buy everything we have enough candy from him. I'll get some water along the way, because I drank everything I had in my flask overnight. And yet, friends, I finally packed a full set of Santa Claus clothes. You just can't imagine how happy I am. Look how cool it looks, but then, until I find the right enchantment, I won't be able to wear them outside. I'm just going to freeze in them. I'll have to take them off for now, until the freeze enchantment appears, and now I'm using the remaining candies to make New Year's cairns and I can craft tools and weapons from them. I realize that I still don't have enough red candies. So I'll have to spend another night in endless fights with spiders. I made myself a sword that does as much as 12 damage, as well as a pickaxe that is as tough as netherite. It's really a New Year's miracle. I decided to check this pickaxe a little, and it turned out that it has more than 2,000 durability and even digs faster than a diamond one. Cool. And now I need to get some water, so that I can safely gouge out spider eyes all night and not think about it. I filled all the bottles with water, as well as my leather flask, and took a lot of fires with me, and then I spent the night killing spiders to make all the tools I could out of Christmas candy. Finally, the night is over and I can go home. I didn't get a lot of candy, but it should be enough for me, at least for all the tools I need. And I will also need to replenish my wool because I don't have enough of it, and my armor has already started to break. I have a lot of plans, and without armor, I won't be able to complete them. I decided to wallow a little by the fire because without wool armor, I was very cold and I could even die, since I took 4 fires with me and they saved my life. Now I need to quickly craft all the tools and proceed to the next task. I plan to bring sheep and make a farm, although I will have to do everything gradually, because now I'm freezing in the cold and can only go outside for a while. It's going to be difficult, but there's no way out. After warming up by the fire, I decided to make at least boots out of wool. But this will only increase the time I spend outside and not protect me from the cold. I need a full set of woolen armor so that I can survive outside. I warmed up in the house, ate and drank water, anyway, and then decided to make myself tools from candy. They will be very useful to me now. Now I need to chop wood to make a sheep pen, where I will breed them, make a fence out of wood, and start making a pen. I came home and crafted a fence and started to remove excess soil to build a pen for my sheep in this place. I need a small pen, so I build right next to the house. I will bring 2 sheep here and breed them and then just cut their wool, and so I will constantly have something to make clothes. I brought 1 sheep and was very cold, so I had to return home, warm up a little and eat to go looking for sheep again. By the way, I think that soon it will be time to build a new house because I don't really want to live forever in the village and there is very little space here, so now I will quickly bring the sheep home, collect wool, get resources, and I can start. Now I need to clean up a little bit of dirt so that the monsters don't get into the pen. Now set up a situation where the creeper crawls into the cage to my sheep and hides there, and then explodes when I approach. I decided to play it safe. After everything is ready, I just have to wait. I have no other choice. I've been digging a cave all this time since I freeze there not so quickly, and along the way I climbed out to mate sheep, so I managed to get a lot of resources in the cave and breed sheep. Now I can safely live on and not worry about wool until the end of the video. Well friends, look how many sheep we have now. A whole bunch of them. Let's make clothes out of wool and we can finally go to my first house. I plan to take all my things that I left there, as I did not plan to stay in the new village for a long time. But now I want to build a house near a new village, and also I need to attack the bandit base, and I really hope to knock out the totem of immortality. While I was driving, I fell into the canyon, quickly fought off the monsters, took all the valuable resources, and continued my way further. I've already been on the road for a very long time, and I want to return home as soon as possible and start building my winter mansion. While I was driving slowly, night began to approach, and I stopped at the village that I met on my way. Took the bookshelves from there, searched all the houses, but did not find anything interesting, so I drove on. I decided not to skip the night, but to immediately set off so as not to waste time. And by morning, I finally reached my first home. I quickly collected all my garlands, took everything of value from the chests, although there was nothing particularly valuable there, so I probably could not go here. But in any case, I need the totems of immortality, so if I get them here, then my journey will not be in vain. I decided to go to the bandit base, but I realized that I did not take my shield with me, and without it, I can die very quickly. Because my armor made of wool is very weak due to the fact that without it I can freeze. I cannot put on another one. So I made a shield and went to attack the bandits, and saw that they had many golems and other mobs in captivity. I decided to free them and at the same time get some wool that covered all the robbers' houses. After killing a few bandits, I realized that I was not making a shield in vain, because I would most likely already be dead. For some reason the golems decided not to help me, so I had to kill all the bandits myself and collect their resources. I stayed there until nightfall, because by the time I killed the bandits and collected more wool, it was already night. I've met a few summoners and knocked out as many as 4 immortality totems. I have never seen so many summoners, but I was only glad of it. because now I have 4 totems and they will be very useful to me. While I was fighting, I almost died. Because all my armor broke and I almost froze. Fortunately, there was my old fire in the house, and I managed to run to it. I made new armor and went to bed. I've ridden enough on the ice of the frozen river and drifted like a Vin Diesel on my steep sleigh and decided to return home. Now there is a new task ahead of me. I need to collect a whole giant pile of resources so that they would be enough for me for a house and a giant Christmas tree. Thanks to the icy river, I got home pretty quickly. Put the iron, smelted down, and began to lay out all the things that I brought from the old house until I decided to put another chest in the cart on the rails and put the rest of the things there since there is no room in the house. I make myself several sets of woolen armor. I will take it with me so that if mine breaks, I can put on a new one right away. Now I'm going to mine resources. I need a lot of wood, stone, and glass. The rest I'll mine as needed. In general, I think that no matter how I comment, in any case, I will not be able to make the extraction of wood interesting. So let me leave you alone with the New Year's music and the beautiful winter sky. To start off, sir, while I was mining wood and you were looking at the beautiful northern lights. It's morning and I'm coming home to make a special warehouse for the resources that I'll spend on building a house. I've mined a mega lot of wood, and I hope that it will be enough for me to completely build my house. Estimate married. Hardly enough for a Christmas tree, but it's still a long way off, so then I'll chop some more. I went to look for a birch. I also need it for the house. On the way I found a cherry tree. I got a little bit of it and saw a forest of birches. I went there and started to cut a lot of wood. I cut all day and all night. But the tree came out a little less than last night, probably because there were fewer trees and they're not so big. In the morning, I put everything in the trunk. While I was mining wood, and you were looking at the beautiful northern lights. It's morning, and I'm coming home to make a special warehouse for the resources that I'll spend on building a house. I've mined a mega lot of wood, and I hope that it will be enough for me to completely build my house. Hardly enough for a Christmas tree, but it's still a long way off, so then I'll chop some more. I went to look for a birch. I also need it for the house. On the way I found a cherry tree. I got a little bit of it and saw a forest of birches. I went there and started to cut a lot of wood. And I cut all day and all night, but the tree came out a little less than last night. Probably because there were fewer trees and they're not so big. In the morning, I put everything in the trunk. After that, I went to mine a lot of sand, and I will also need to paint it in the future. But this will be in the process of building a house, so now I will not look for dyes. I made a lot of stoves to melt all the glass faster. But first, I need to make charcoal from the wood I mined so that I can make enough charcoal for all the coal. All this took me until the next morning. And finally, I gathered almost everything I needed, which means I can start building the house. I have been waiting for this for so long. And now let's start. First, we need to clear and level the area so that the house is not on a sparked area. And then just a whole bunch of hours spent on building the most gigantic house in my life, however. This is only 4 videos on survival in Minecraft Hardcore 100 days. And before these videos, I had never built something beautiful and big. And now I am building giant houses on uninhabited islands. Underground kingdoms, and finally a giant winter house. I hope you like my videos. If suddenly you have watched this moment, then please like and subscribe to my channel. I dream of gaining the first 1,000 subscribers, and also write the phrase Glacier Christmas in the comments. So, I will understand that you have watched this moment, and other people will look for this moment while watching and try to understand what it means. Thank you. In the meantime, it already built a small part of the foundation for my house, and even made a staircase by night. My house looked like this, not bad in my opinion, but still far from ideal. After spending a few more hours, I managed to build something like this. It already looks like a house, but trust me, it's not even half of what I need to build. So without further ado, let's keep building. Now I'm building the world's most gigantic roof for a survival house. Seriously, other preppers are building small houses and focusing on action, and I usually need to build something beautiful. I can't do it any other way. How do I live 100 days in the world without a beautiful house? I don't understand. I hope you enjoy watching me suffer for a few days in building a house. I took a short break and decided to equip my first room. I think that soon I will be able to move here. The house turns out to be very cozy and very beautiful. To be honest, I myself did not expect that it would turn out so cool. I ate a couple of candies and you can continue to build. Let's go. And now I'm finishing one of my favorite places in my house. It's a vat of hot water in which I can take a steam bath after a very cold day at work. How I already want to finish with the house as soon as possible and hang out here for the whole evening. And now it's time to put in windows. This idea didn't come to me right away, and along the way, while I was building this house, I decided to make windows in the form of one big Christmas tree. I don't know if it looks similar, but it still looks good. On the other hand, I decided to make a small panoramic window, which would be made of ordinary glass, so that I could look at the sky and beautiful stars in the evening. Well, in general, this is what I have been able to do so far. It remains to decorate everything inside and light, finish the roof and a few small details, but in general, this is how my house looks now, and it is beautiful. And now let's inspect it completely and finish the construction. And at this point, I almost died from the skeleton that knocked my first totem off me. But I was lucky and had 3 more in reserve, so you don't have to worry about it. While I was running to the village, I decided to decorate it a little and made iron rods that looked like garlands in my assembly and hung them on all the houses of the villagers. Well, now friends, are the last steps of decorating my house. I made many different chests and decided to place them around the house in order to give it a more Christmas style and comfort. I also made a fireplace, hung light bulbs and put garlands throughout the house. My house is 90-80 ready, and it remains only a matter of details. By the way, my next task will be to build a giant, or to be honest, the most gigantic Christmas tree with toys during survival on Minecraft Hardcore. I think that after building a house, I will take a short break and do something else, and then chop enough wood and build a Christmas tree right next to the house. By the way, it will be necessary to make a small Christmas tree in this room. I think it will fit well here under the general picture of light bulbs, fireplace and garlands. If you only knew how much iron I spent on these garlands and how much I was already tired of building it. I even thought about reducing its size by 2 times, but decided not to retreat halfway and finish everything to the end. In any case, everything looks just fine. Look what a cozy fireplace I got. I made a large chimney, and on the 2nd and 3rd floors, 2 fireplaces are connected to it. Somehow, one zombie got into my house. Apparently, he decided to swim in my new sauna. An itinerant merchant came to visit me and offered to buy me some things, but I didn't like anything, so I just left him alone. I placed gifts near my house to give it even more New Year's mood, as well as the last most insignificant nuances that need to be added to my house. And finally, friends, everything is ready. So many days of work, so much effort and time spent on this house. But how beautiful it looks. I just can't get enough of it. The real house of Santa Claus. Well, now let me tell you where it is and give you a little tour of my house. We go up a wonderful staircase and get to the 1st floor. Here we have 3 main rooms. a staircase to the top and a staircase to the basement with a warehouse. There is a workshop where you can process and smelt array, as well as do blacksmithing. There is a guest room in which I will live for the time being. The main hall in which there are several chests, beautiful panoramic windows, and a fireplace. Descent to the basement in which there are many fires, chests for storing materials. As well as in the future, there will be an enchantment table. Next, I will show you my favorite room. It has another fireplace, a bunch of garlands and bulbs, as well as a Christmas tree with a golden star on top. In this room, you can celebrate Christmas. Only the table is missing, but I will put it if guests come. Upstairs, I have a sauna where you can take a steam bath, which is what I'm doing now, while my drone shows you the whole house. And in the attic, I have a Santa Claus sleigh in the form of a bed in which you can sleep. Unfortunately, there are no reindeer, so they do not fly. And the coldest room with snow, which has a lot of snowmen, small Christmas trees, and even Christmas cairns. Well, I hope you like my house. I tried very hard and put my heart and soul into it, by the way. Look at the beautiful view from the window in my sauna. Put a like if you wanted such a house in real life. Well, this view from the window of my guest room, in which I still live, by the way. Now I will move all my things to my new house and start settling in. I need to finally make a filter to purify water, because all this time I've been drinking ordinary water, which is many times worse than purified water. I've also decided to shear all my sheep to make a couple more costumes out of wool. I'm going to go to the mine and find a lot of resources, so I'm going to spend a lot of time there. So I have to be ready for that. I decided to kill some of the sheep in order to collect some mutton and roast it. I will take it with me to the cave, so I will definitely have enough food. I made this ever-running trolley near my house. It will be another decoration for my Christmas house, and now I need to dig up as much sand as possible and make a lot of bottles, so that my water purification plant works constantly, and there is a lot of water. The plant is almost ready. It remains to put a chest on top in which I will stack bottles of plain water. It will get into the purifier and it will purify all the water, so I will be able to throw up to 20 bubbles of water and leave. And then take it already cleaned, and I will not have to wait for each bottle standing near the purifier. That's it, my plant is fully assembled and starting to work right now. Unfortunately, the coal will have to be put in by hand, but I think if you put it in a stack, then you will not have to change it very often. I decided to smelt my ores and collect more water, so that the purifier would make me many bottles of clean water. Look how much water he has already managed to purify while I was just doing my own thing. It's very cool. And now I'm making myself a few sets of clothes out of wool, collecting more water. And by the way, look at what cauldrons of boiling water I made. Well, now you can go to the cave to get resources. A very beautiful morning greets me. I want to admire the beauties of this world for a while before going into the caves. Well, now it's time to go to work. We still have a lot of things ahead of us. This cave is right next to my house, so I decided to go down into it before I build it, as I plan to flood it with water to make a large ice lake. Digging a mine, I found the city of Varden. I decided to go into it by stealth and take everything I can. I hope that the Varden will not hear me and will not attack. In such armor and without a golem, I simply will not stand a chance against him, so I will have to do everything as quietly and carefully as possible. I took a lot of valuables and decided to go home, lay them out and free up space in my inventory. I quickly laid out all the inventory and decided to enchant my pickaxe for luck 3. I found this book in the dungeon, and it will help me a lot because my main task is to find diamonds, and this way I will get more of them. Now let's check how many diamonds I can dig up with this pickaxe. And so I get 1 to 3 diamonds from each ore. Not bad. I think I'll dig up enough diamonds with my cool new pickaxe. In general, I've managed to mine as many as 35 diamonds at the moment. I will continue to dig the cave. Maybe I can find some more. After fighting off the skeleton, I collect iron and continue to dig the cave. Damn, this skeleton just appeared out of nowhere. My heart almost dropped to my heels. I tried to run away from it, but it hit me in the back and knocked out my second totem of immortality. Now I only have 2 of them left, how frustrating. But thank God I didn't die and my survival is not over. When I got home, I decided to make an enchantment and try to catch the enchantment I needed, so that I could wear normal armor and not freeze because there are only 2 totems left and there are many skeletons in the world. It would be very stupid to die from an ordinary skeleton and lose such a wonderful survival. I decided to decorate the enchantment with candles and soul lamps that I stole from the dungeon to make this place look more magical and beautiful. And now I'm going to try to enchant things. I was very lucky, and from the first time I enchanted my chest for the coolest enchantments, including thermoregulation. Now I can wear my cool Santa Claus armor, be very protected, and not be afraid that some weak skeleton will kill me. As you can see, I can run in the snow, swim in the icy water, and do absolutely anything. Also, I don't have to make armor out of foliage to go to hell because of the heat. I could burn there. I could only go there in leaf armor, but now I can go there in my Santa armor and not afraid of heat stroke. And now I'm going to build the biggest Christmas tree in the world, but to do that, I need to chop down a tree. Because as I said, all my tree went to build a house, I decided to prepare some more purified water, park all my things and go to the forest by a spruce tree. I'm lucky in enchantments today because I've just enchanted my pants to the coolest enchantments. I'm very satisfied, so now let's start cutting down another spruce forest. Well, I finally got home. I got quite a lot of wood. At least I hope this tree will be enough for me. Well, I can start building a giant spruce tree. I've already chosen the place on which I will build it, but apparently this little zombie decided to occupy it. Well, he will have to move, 'cause this is where I am going to build a Christmas tree. Well, for now, it looks more like some kind of squirrel or dry bush. But now I'm going to make branches and beautiful gifts, and it's going to look like a Christmas tree. Give me a little more time for that. Well, the branches are done and it's a little more like a Christmas tree, but it's not good enough yet, so I guess we need to keep building. Well, friends, we finished the foliage, and the tree is almost ready. All that remains is to decorate it with Christmas toys. I use Christmas chests as balls, iron lamps as garland, and gold blocks as a star on top of the tree. I just can't believe that I was able to make such a big Christmas tree. But now just imagine how difficult it will be to decorate it. Well, now I'm going to get everything ready and start decorating it. I could use some help, but unfortunately I'm alone. But 2 cute birds flew to my house. Let's start decorating the Christmas tree. I want to finish with it as soon as possible. Well, friends, I finally finished decorating this giant Christmas tree. Just look how beautiful it looks. I don't regret that I spent so much time and effort on it because it complements my home so much and turns everything around into a fairy tale. Well, now I need to carefully get out of here and not die. The altitude here is just unreal. Now I want to enchant my sword and go get gunpowder and ender pearls. I got lucky again with the enchantment and enchanted the sword for loot 3 and sharpness 4. Apparently Christmas luck is on my side in this video. Everything goes perfectly. I started killing enders and collecting pearls, as well as collecting cow skins to make myself more water flasks. You're the most efficient. 1 flask holds 3 bottles of water, so I can economize the place. After that, I want to go to hell and get blaze ones there, kill the wither boss and get the hell star. You can make a very beautiful Christmas star out of it. For the top of my Christmas tree, I decided to enchant the bow because it is impossible to kill bosses in hell and in the end world. The first bow was not enchanted very much, and the second received the coolest enchantment. I also enchanted my boots, and now I have a full set of armor to protect 4. I decided to make a lot of fireworks to celebrate Christmas and the last night at the end of the video. I pack all my things and make a portal to hell. I have very little time left. I need to have time to do everything planned. 69 days have passed. Let's sum up the results. We managed to make a wonderful Santa's mansion, a giant Christmas tree, Santa's armor, as well as many other things. It seems that we have time before the Christmas guys. Well, the next days are going to be very hot. I appeared in hell on a platform, Vosoko above the ground. So I'll take the portal with me and build it later in another place. And now I need to find blazes. I don't plan to make netherite armor, so I won't dig netherite. I only need blazes and a wither boss. I finally found a hell fortress and found some chests. Took all the resources I needed and collected some hell growth, and also finally found a blaze spawner. Thanks to my sword, I will be able to farm more blaze wands quickly. I don't know if the luck for dropping heads. Depends on enchantments on the sword, but from the first skeleton I knocked out the skull of the sword. There's only 2 left to knock out, and I can kill the wither boss. Well, let's put up the skulls and summon the wither boss. I've got a couple of regeneration potions and an immortality totem, so I can easily handle it. Well, the boss is done, and now I can go home. I took obsidian with me, so I'll build a portal right here and return home. After killing the wither skeleton, I built a portal and set it on fire. When I get home, I immediately began to make a Christmas star, or rather a lighthouse, which looks like a star. Now another task is to put it right on top of my giant Christmas tree. I made some gold blocks and decided to test what this beacon would look like when I activated it, and it's really very beautiful. And now let's climb on the Christmas tree and put it on the very top. Well, it looks great. My Christmas tree is completely finished, and now I can go on my last journey. Slay the dragon. I made the Eye of the End and went to look for the Fortress of the End. This is what a Christmas tree looks like from the height of an ordinary person. And now I'm going to make an Eye of the Edge, and it's time to look for a portal. Wish me luck, friends. Activate the portal and start our final battle with the dragon. Just look how beautiful it is here. Now, I've never seen this world look like this. Okay, it's time to start. Let's break all the crystals as quickly as possible and kill the dragon. I still have things to do in this world, and I have to do everything before the 100th day. I want to find New Year's elytras and make Christmas shulkers. Well, the Ender Dragon is almost defeated, but I didn't hit him with the last arrow and I don't have any more. So I'll have to finish him off with a sword, wait until he lands and strike the final blow. aCookieGod. I was hoping to hit it with fireworks. It would have been very cool, but I didn't, so I'll just finish it off with a sword. Yes, friends, we did it. The dragon is defeated. Take the dragon egg and go look for the shulker's house. I ran out of blocks, so I had to throw pearls right from here, thank goodness. I was lucky and got to the right place. Well, I spawned right next to the shulker castle, kill them quickly, collect their shells and collect all the valuable resources, then take the elites and go home. We don't have much time left. Search. Oh yes, finally friends, it's over. We're coming home on new Elytras, celebrating Christmas and setting off fireworks. I feel so happy. Thank you for watching my video, friends. I'm at home. I decided to fly a little in the new Elytras and set off fireworks because this is our penultimate night before Christmas. Now I'm going to make Christmas shulker boxes, improve and decorate my house. And of course, just before Christmas, I decided to fall off the tree and lose my immortality totem. Thank God I had it, otherwise it would have been the hardest fail in the history of survival. To die just before Christmas, just a nightmare. Well, friends, Merry Christmas to all. Thank you for watching how I survived 100 days in this beautiful world of winter and cold. I hope I conveyed the Christmas mood to you. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel and like. This is very important for my channel. I dream of gaining 1,000 subscribers before Christmas, but it will only come out with your help, and I stay warming by this fireplace, throwing wood there so that it does not go out until the morning. Thank you for being with me, and see you in the new video. Today, I will live 100 days on a desert island in the middle of the ocean enclosed by a big red circle. This is a barrier beyond which I will not be able to leave the island before the 30th day. If I die, the world will be removed. I'll build the world's biggest bamboo house, giant sakura tree and a bamboo garden. I'll find the camel and the sniffer and bring them back to the island. I'll survive without food, peaceful mobs, and only one palm tree, and one bamboo since in Minecraft 1.022, 2 bamboo boards are crafted from 9 bamboo instead of 4. Survival without wood is impossible. But believe me, it won't give me much advantage. And the seedlings of the tree will not fall out of the foliage until the 50th day. On the first day, I got my only tree and started digging a dugout to hide from mobs at night. Now I can't fight them off, and death threatens me with the removal of the world. The boards are limited, so until the bamboo grows, I will have to spend them wisely. Otherwise, I won't be able to survive in the first few days. I'm also starting to make a small farm in order to plant the wheat I harvested there. This is also an additional way, but not the main one, because you can't live on bread alone, at least until I have a large enough farm. So I decide to go and get some fish, because the boundaries of my island also include a small piece of the ocean, which means I can swim there and extract resources. I'll get some algae. They will be my fuel. It is very profitable. While I was gathering seaweed, I was attacked by a drowned man, but I decided not to fight him because I don't have a sword, and I just gathered the seaweed and swam to my island until he called his friends, and I did not become one of the drowned. Aggressive monsters have already appeared on my island, so I'm going to get into mine a dugout. prepared during the day and hide there from them till morning. I decided to get some stone to make a stove and fry the caught fish, as well as at least slightly illuminate my dim cave. It will be a little cozier with the stove. I forgot that the seaweed first needs to be melted down in order to get full-fledged fuel. Schwartz fuel, the system works as with charcoal. In order to melt 8 kelp, you need only 1 charcoal, and we get 8 dried kelp. We need 9 kelp to craft 1 block of kelp, which is equal to 14.5 lumps of coal in terms of fuel. I only need 2 pieces of coal to make myself enough fuel for almost a whole stack of remelting. But since I don't have coal now, and it's very expensive to roast on wood, and I have very little of it, I'm going to dig a cave and look for coal. I have no other choice. Wood is in short supply, and I just can't afford to spend it on remelting. At least until I grow a lot of bamboo. I also dug a small passage to kill the monsters, in the hope that something valuable would fall from them. Now a bunch of zombies immediately rushed at me, and I decided to make a stone sword to kill them faster. I think it will still be useful to me, so I did not spare 1 stick on it, and suddenly a carrot fell out of the zombies for me. How happy I was. I will be able to make a carrot farm, and in the future make golden carrots. As for me, this is one of the coolest options for food, does not require a lot of time and costs, and gives a lot of satiety. I got out of the cave to kill the spider and collect some threads. I will need them to make a bow, a bed, and a fishing rod. All this is necessary for my survival. First of all, a bed and a fishing rod. It will be able to skip the night and fish during the day to get some food and other valuable resources that can be caught in the ocean. I decided to try my luck with skeleton archers, but I caught an arrow and realized that I could die. I returned to the cave, decided to wait for the morning. Then they would burn themselves. A spider came to me, so I killed it and collected more threads. I decided to close my cave because I won't get anything valuable there anymore, and I can die very easily, so it doesn't make sense. Besides, I will be able to finish off the remaining monsters in the morning. In any case, I will leave my cave, so now I decided to go to mine coal. I hope to find at least 2 pieces of coal and a few pieces of iron ore. I would definitely need it. But while I was digging a cave, I found a lot more than I was looking for, and I was very lucky. I found a lot more and was even able to make myself a torch and also put fish to fry, because I only have rotten flesh and a spider eye from food, which are not very suitable for me. After the fish, I will put seaweed to fry. After all, in any case, this is a very profitable source of fuel, and it will definitely come in handy for me, especially since I will have 4 blocks. And each block is 14.5 lumps of coal, which is quite a lot for me now. Finally, the morning has come, and it's time to get out of my cave in order to harvest the harvest I call the monsters that either did not have time to burn completely or do not burn in the sun. From them, I can collect resources that will be useful to me. And also, I finally have bamboo grown, and I can make bamboo boards so that I no longer save wood. I collected bamboo and decided that I needed to get rid of the Enderman who had settled on my island, because the 2 of us would not get along on this island. I expanded my bamboo farm and decided to plant some carrots so that they would grow little by little. In the future, I will make a giant farm of bamboo and carrots, and for now, I need to get back to my business. I decided to make the bamboo farm even bigger and planted all the bamboo that I collected so that it would grow even more, because it grows very fast. I jumped into the water to kill the Enderman. He bothered me with his presence. Besides, you never know when he will attack. He dropped a block of grass that can be useful to me in the future, and in the meantime I expand the carrot farm and collect bamboo that grows every second and immediately plant it, so that the farm is gigantic. So my whole day passed. I just ate the rotten flesh. I collected bamboo and planted it again. While I was picking bamboo, I realized that I did not have the main source of food, and I decided to make a golden carrot with it because it takes time to catch fish. It takes time to find animals and breed them, and carrots can just be planted and harvested, although it also takes time to ripen. So when it becomes a habit and the cycle begins, this won't be a problem for me. Besides, there are many destroyed portals around the world that have gold in them, plus hell in which there is just a whole bunch of it in general. Golden carrots are the most profitable food option for me, at least. At the end of the day, I saw that monsters were starting to appear and killed a spider. Then I ran into the cave before many monsters spawned and they killed me. I made a block of dry kelp and also crafted a fishing rod, so in the afternoon I can go fishing and catch some fish before my carrots grow. While the kelp was roasting, I decided to go to the cave and look for some more resources, because I had already spent a few days on the island, and so I didn't get anything but coal. I mined a whole bunch of coal, and this makes me very happy because I can make some torches and plus this fuel. Now, every resource is worth its weight in gold for me, but then I was even luckier. I found a zombie spawner and decided not to break it in case I still need it. I took everything valuable from the chest and decided to take them too, so that there would be somewhere to put things. Because I don't have wood yet, so chests from the dungeon will be a great solution. I went further to explore the cave and found some iron ore. Finally, I will be able to make a bucket of water and enlarge my farm when I get home. I made 3 shiritsi, and as soon as I have a tree, I will make a bed. But for now, I will put everything together. I put all my things in a chest and decided to go outside. Because finally the day came, I was met by 3 creepers at once. I fought them off and went to collect bamboo, but I realized that without an axe, it would be too long and difficult. So I crafted an axe from bamboo and decided to go mine all the bamboo that grew overnight. Finally, I won't have any problems with the boards. Then I fertilize and plant carrots as well as plant wheat. It will also not be superfluous. The bigger my farm is, the better. So I decided to expand it a little and plant the remaining wheat and carrot seeds. After getting bamboo, I returned to the cave, converted the bamboo into boards and decided to go fishing until the evening. True, I caught only a couple of fish, not very much. But I have enough to eat. I think it is worth returning to the cave, since soon it will be night and monsters will appear again. So I will again go to dig the cave and look for resources. Today I plan to find obsidian. Later you will find out what, for before going to the cave I decided to craft torches. Finally planks and coal, and are not a problem for me, and I can safely make a whole stack of torches. First I will dig to the water, since I am not very deep underground. I can dig a tunnel to the ocean and collect a bucket of water. This is safer than climbing out of the cave at night, without armor into the street where there are a bunch of monsters and evil spiders. I need a bucket of water to pour lumber and get obsidian. I started digging a cave and found some lapia lazuli, killed a zombie and found an amethyst cave. I mine amethyst because it will be useful to me in the future, to build my house and other decorations, after which I found a lava lake and a whole bunch of diamonds at once. I was lucky because I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I will be able to find lava and diamonds, which means right now I will be able to mine obsidian. I need it to create a portal in Unum. Initially, I came up with a huge project and wanted to make a large portal, but later I changed my mind and decided to make a more compact one, so I wasted my time. Upon returning from the cave, I decided that I need to harvest bamboo, because there is already quite a lot of it. Really surprised by the growth rate of bamboo, I decided to cut down my entire bamboo garden and create many bamboo boards. But the whole garden cannot be cut down. It grows too fast. I converted all the bamboo into planks and decided to put some junk in the chest. After that, I decided to craft a bed so that I could finally sleep at night. Then, of course, I decided to go to sleep in order to skip the night and in the morning to start my business. A giant bamboo farm is already ready. So you can start building the world's largest bamboo house on a desert island. For this, I had to first calculate the entire territory of the island and remove all the irregularities, since the territory is really very small. And I'm going to have to change it to my liking. I'm going to level up the whole island, and I'm going to use the extra land to expand my island, so I can fit more buildings and make a house. After I dug all the dirt on my island, I started leveling the bumps by adding dirt to empty spaces or craters from creeper explosions, so that my area would look more beautiful, and I could build a path here that I could walk along from the house to other buildings that I will build here in the future. So now I level the area not only for the house, and in general, I prepare it for all future buildings. I decided to do it all at once, so that later I would not have to level the landscape again. And finally, by the evening, I had already built the foundation of my future house. I used andesite, which is very abundant in my caves. In addition, it fits under my bamboo frame of the house, and also made steps. I made columns out of bamboo that will hold the roof, and then I began to make the basis for the future floor, which will be at the level of 3 blocks. This will give my house more charm and make it even more gigantic, and in general, this is what I'm doing at the moment. Then I proceeded to build the first floor of the house. I made everything from bamboo, since I did not have another type of wood. Yes, and this fits the theme of my survival. I did not plan it initially, but my house stylistically resembles the Chinese style of houses, so I plan to do all subsequent buildings in a similar style. In my opinion, it looks very beautiful. Having finished the roof of the first floor, I proceed to build a hinged roof that will cover my entire house. It looks very large scale, and I built it very long and difficult, but it was definitely worth it. I decided to cut down all my bamboo from the garden. It's not that I don't have enough bamboo that I used to get. It's just that in the future I don't want it to run out. Besides, it will grow further, since now it has reached its maximum growth. Made some more bamboo boards and from them created all the necessary materials for the house, such as half blocks, steps, doors, buttons and so on. My house is almost ready. Decide to pause a little and harvest all your wheat and carrots, as well as plant it in place, just so that the food does not run out and I do not die of hunger. And then I will immediately continue to build my bamboo house, although it is not yet ready, but its scale is already striking. And it is really very beautiful. I hope you have admired the frame of my house, because now you will see the final result. Are you ready? I will say right away that it took almost as much time to equip the house inside as to build it itself, because I myself made all the decorations and decorated everything in my own way. Well, friends, 3, 2, 1, and look! Dam is the most gigantic tropical house in the world. I've fully equipped it inside, and now I will show you what and how in it. Come with me. I will give you an excursion. 2 floors, 2 additional rooms, one of which is a trophy room and the other is a foundry workshop for blacksmithing, a sauna, a double bamboo bed, an amethyst fireplace, as well as a spacious bedroom. All this goes into my giant bamboo house on a desert island, just beautiful. Well, now let's go through everything in order. I'm going to show you my whole house, and so let's start with the first floor, and then I'll show you the second floor. On the street of the house, I have a swing that you can ride on, and this is a fire where you can sit in the evening and roast marshmallows. By the way, now I'm using a block of grass that I knocked out of the Enderman many days ago. I still needed it, and now I'll show you the first floor. Here I have such windows and chests. Here you can store all sorts of junk and not very valuable things. There are also flower pots on the windows, but so far without flowers. I will plant them later, when I can swim out of the boundaries of my island. Hi, I'm from the Bardaville. Everything is lit by beautiful light bulbs on chains and torches. There's also a chest for food and/or OUs. On the second floor I have a wardrobe for my armor and swords, a bed, my new dog, which I tamed recently. There is also a trophy hall, a smelter and a sauna, a vat of water that I want to decorate with grass and red roses, and in barrels I will put a fish and some roses, and here's my amethyst fireplace. The smoker goes directly to the roof, and even the smoke from the fires comes out of there. It gives my house a magical look and coziness. Then when the sun hits it, it looks even more beautiful. Now I will show in more detail all the rooms and all the details that I have added to my interior. I would like you to rate my house on a 10-point scale. I see a lot of other things that could be added here. Patience. But unfortunately, my time is limited and I set myself a certain time frame to build a house. I couldn't spare more time. But even so, I like the house. And now that I've shown you my house, I think it's time to get down to business. The first thing to do is to put all the resources and materials in the chest so that I don't have to carry them around with me all the time, because now I have a storage where I can leave them. I want to spend the next 10 days redoing the cane farm and other farms. I want to move them closer to home and remove the bamboo from my area. I will put it on the edges of the island. It will look nice and will not take up extra space, but I don't need so much bamboo anymore. I will make the carrot and wheat farms separately by dividing them into 2 different farms to the left and right of my house. Well, I plan to go to the cave and get diamonds there to make new armor out of them because I built such a cool house, and if I die, it will disappear with the world. And I don't want that, so I need armor to withstand blows and protect myself from death. I placed torches all over the island so that monsters no longer spawn near my house at night, and I'd also transplant all the bamboo. Now I will need it several times less, which means there is no need for such a giant bamboo farm. In the future, I will make an ornamental bamboo garden, but until then, it needs to be transplanted in the vicinity of the island. I harvested all the carrots and wheat. I will also move the farm right now. By the way, I'm going to mine gold and make a lot of golden carrots because my harvest was almost 200 carrots, which is a lot. I began to trample the beds, but it turned out that it would be faster to just dig them up with a shovel, which I did. In this place, I no longer need beds. After putting all the resources in chests, I went to the cave to get the resources I needed and found some iron, gold that was right above the lava. More continued to dig the cave, and finally I found the diamonds I wanted. I mined 29 diamonds, which is enough for armor and even tools. I crafted diamond armor, a helmet, boots, pants, and a breastplate, and also decided to make a shield for myself from the mined iron to block the attacks of monsters. Soon I will go to new islands, and I need to be ready for any danger. I decided to throw all the garbage into the fire, so as not to put everything in chests. I do not want to have a lot of garbage in my house after all. I built such a wonderful house, it would be stupid to put garbage in it, by the way. I also made a diamond pickaxe and a sword with the remaining diamonds. After that, I put all the ores to be smelted in my smelter and began to prepare for the journey. First of all, I melted down all the gesso, gold and copper. And after that, I decided to make a spyglass in order to be able to zoom in on the view and look into the distance. I made golden carrots, and I started building a portal to hell. Although I'm not going to set it on fire yet, and I also need a whole bunch of resources to decorate it. So for now, I've just built a frame to understand how much space the portal will take up in the future. Now I'm going to make 2 farms, wheat and carrots. The carrot farm will be bigger, since this is my main type of food, and I need it more than wheat. I decided to decorate the farms and add lighting to make everything look even more beautiful. By the end of the day, I was finally done with the farms, and it was time for bed. In the morning, I hit the road. This is what my island looks like at the end of this day. We're expanding, and it's awesome. Well, before I set off, I decided to get a good night's sleep and relax in my sauna and swim a little, so that I could go to conquer the islands with peace of mind. After that, I put on the diamond armor and immediately sailed to look for the islands. It didn't take long because there was another island very close. I swam to it and I was met by monsters. I immediately fought them off and went to look for something valuable. I found cows and started killing them. I need a lot of skin in order to make books and build an enchantment, and for this you need a lot of leather and paper. Unfortunately, the sugar cane did not grow at home, since I did not plant it, so I will also have to collect it along the way. Since there was a lot of leather and sugar cane, so I managed to collect it, and then I found a village of inhabitants where I also collected some resources, skin, food, and many other useful things, so I decided to stay here for the rest of the day and extract the skin. While I was getting the skin, I took all the valuables from the village of the villagers and noticed a lot of pumpkins. I think they will be useful to me for a future construction project. I spent the whole day extracting resources on the new island. I guess I killed all the horses and cows within a radius of 1,000 meters. Got a lot of leather and wanted to move on, and did not notice how it began to get dark. Therefore, I immediately put up a bed and decided to sleep right in the clearing near the village. Not very cozy, but comfortable and fast. After that, I continued my way. I decided to go to the sea and found some underwater ruins or something. I fell to them, but except for drowned. I did not find anything valuable and interesting there, therefore I did not stay there for a long time. I sailed further to look for a cherry biota, which is very necessary for all future buildings on my island. I need cherry wood, cherry foliage and pink flowers from the cherry blossom biome. I immediately began to mine wood and made scissors to get foliage and seedlings so that I would no longer look for biomes. I got a lot of cherry leaves and wood and even managed to fight with bees. When I collected enough resources I needed, I immediately returned home and put everything in a chest for now. Now I will plant flowers in flower pots and arrange pink flowers in the valley of the path, so that everything would look very nice and cozy. I decided to arrange them in order of increase with each row and led the path to the portal to hell. And also I calculated the territory and dug up the ground with a shovel, making paths. It looks much better this way. Then I decided to just level the landscape and make steps so that it would be more convenient to walk around the island from the portal to the house and farms. I also decided to plant my sugar cane in the valley of the island, so that then I would harvest and make paper. Plus, I will eat quite a lot of it. The whole day was spent on these classes, and by the end of the day, or rather late at night, I started to build a giant cherry blossom tree. I decided that near such a big house, I would make the same cherry blossoms, so I started building, and it took me a few days. Well, I know how a tree has to look, so all I need is time and patience to build it. So I spent the next few days just building a giant cherry blossom tree. I built the 3 main branches, and then I made the main trunk, which is supposed to hold all the foliage and is at the very top of the tree. So, in general, as you understood, the design is quite complex, and to be honest, I tensed more than when building a house because everything was intuitive there, and when building a tree, everything was spontaneous and inconvenient. I constantly had to put a bunch of blocks under myself in order to put just a couple of blocks of foliage, because you need to observe the proportions and constantly adjust every detail. And if you put even one block of wood or foliage in the wrong place, then it turns into ugliness rather than a beautiful tree. In general, it turned out quite beautiful, and I am very glad that I have finally finished with the construction. And now I can decorate it with beautiful bulbs that will add charm to this tree, and even at night it will shine. Let's do it as soon as possible and see how it will look in its final form. I hope I will not bore you with my buildings, because there is still a portal to hell and a bamboo garden to be built. So please let me know if you don't want to see so many buildings in the next videos. But if you like to watch me build, then also write in the comments and I'll shoot more time lapses for you during the 100-day survival. In the morning, I decided to go to get resources for the construction of a portal. The way was long, but I needed to find spruce trees as well as some more blocks I needed for construction, so I found a spruce tree and got 2 stacks. This will definitely be enough for me to build a portal. Also, while I was wandering around the world, I found a ruined hell portal. In the chest near the portal there was an apple, a couple of iron nuggets, flint and obsidian. I decided to take everything and get the gold blocks that were near the portal. When I returned home I made pottery, but I didn't like it and decided to make red concrete. Now I had to put it in water so that it would become solid and I could use it in construction. I made 2 stacks of concrete and started putting it in the water until all the concrete was ready for use. After that, I would go back home and prepare all the blocks I needed to build the portal, stone steps and floor blocks, as well as jack-o'-lanterns, and proceeded to build a portal. It was a pretty nice construction. But there was one thing, but while I was building the portal, I realized that I made it too large, so I had to reduce it. But in the end, I still made a portal. I needed to add a couple more details, Chinese lights. I had to remove the roots of my tree a little because they were in the way. I also added hatches and the final touch was bamboo. I planted bamboo near the portal and set it on fire. Now the portal is ready, and this is what it looks like in the finale. Now my island looks just incredibly cool, and each building fits the style. Pink leaves are falling. A giant bamboo house cutting gusts of wind with its walls and a beautiful portal with a Chinese gate to the very bowels of hell. Just perfect. There are only a couple of small buildings left to build and my island will be completely completed. After the attack of the night monsters, I went to bed and prepared for a new journey. I need to find a couple of chicken feathers to make a brush. I'm going to find a new sniffer mob and raise it on my island. I was looking for a chicken for a long time, as everything except the chicken came across evil. But in the end, I returned home and made a brush, and then immediately decided to build a platform on which creepers will spawn in the future. I need a creeper in order to get the piglin's head. Who doesn't know what to get the piglin's head? I need to hit the creeper with lightning so that he becomes a charged creeper and lure him to hell, and then make the creeper blow up the piglin. And if everything works out, the piglin's head will fall out. This is one of the most difficult tasks in Minecraft at this moment. I went in search of a sniffer and found some interesting items along the way. Nothing special. But I found a couple of sea ruins and even managed to fight with drowned people, as well as found an oceanic underwater city in which I got hit in the face by fish and decided that I should get out of there while I was still alive. Not that I was afraid, but even the shield doesn't block their attacks. So I decided not to take any chances and still focus my attention on finding the sniffer. I killed a few drowned people and decided to eat a strange soup that gave me the effect of an increased jump for 4 seconds, climbed into the ruins and decided to dig up a couple of blocks of suspicious gravel, but found nothing of value except a wooden hoe, so I need to move on. I heard that the sniffer is only in sand ruins, so such ruins do not suit me and I will have to look further eventually. I'll spend many more days in the ocean before I find what I came here for while I've been sailing the ocean. I've searched several shipwrecks and old ruins, gathered some resources and even found a bubble of experience that is very rare. I've always met drowned people on my way, so I've been fighting them in hopes of knocking out the trident, which would be very useful to me in the future. I swam for a really long time and decided to find treasures for a change. There was nothing particularly valuable, but at least I visited an ant because the ocean is very tiring. But you need to move further along the ocean. After spending a few more days on the road, sailing on the ocean, I decided that I needed to stop at the village of the villagers and collect resources there. I found some berries, bookshelves, and some emeralds, nothing special. But again I took a little break from the ocean and decided to continue my journey. Further swimming on the ocean, I really killed a lot of drowned people, and finally in one of the fights I was lucky and knocked out 2 tridents at once. I was very happy. Because this is a great rarity and I was really very lucky. I continued my journey on the ocean, and I was not going to stop until I finally got the sniffer's egg. After trying my trident a little, I made new boats and sailed on. In front of me there was still a long way to go across the ocean. But finally, by the end of the 50th day, I was still able to find the very same sniffer's egg and decided to return home as soon as possible after all. I didn't need anything else, and besides, I was just sick of the ocean. The journey home also took a couple of days, but as it turned out, it swam on one big ocean and returned home much faster. Soon as I got home, I put the sniffer's egg, and in order not to wait for it to hatch, I decided to do my own thing, and I still had a whole bunch of them, given that I only have 100 days. I need to be sure to have time to do everything. I put all my things in the chest, took the trophies to the room for trophies, and float in my jacuzzis. After that, I crafted some golden carrots and set off again. This time not very far. I decided to get resources, so I swam to a neighboring island, started digging. But it turned out that I got to a cave lake at Eingifiore, the famous lake. So I had to change the cave and continue digging there. I plan to make an enchantment table, so I need diamonds, lapis lazuli, as well as gold for golden carrots and other resources. When I got home, I gathered all the sugar cane to make the enchanting paper, came home and made an enchantment table, and started making bookshelves. For this, I took all my bamboo and made a whole bunch of bamboo boards. In my plans for the next few days to build an enchantment and a huge bamboo garden. These 2 ideas came to my mind when I was building a cherry blossom tree, and it was at that moment that I formed a picture of the future island. I'm sure you'll like it. I decided to take care of the interior of the landscape and level the area a little to build a bamboo garden on this place. It will have 4 cherry trees, bamboo and sugar cane near the water, as well as a path that will lead from my house to the ocean. And at the entrance there will be a huge gate in Chinese style, similar to my portal to hell, but a little more and more detailed. I was mining land right under my island, so maybe it became a little empty inside. But it doesn't matter. But in the future, I will mine land on neighboring islands, and I will be able to fill my entire island with earth if I need it. While I was building the bamboo garden, my sniffer grew a little, and when it grows to its maximum size, it will be able to get me rare flower seeds. They are very beautiful and very rare, so they will be able to complement my already unique island. It took a few days to build my bamboo garden, and at this point my sniffer managed to grow. And I was looking forward to him getting me my first seeds of rare flowers. I started building the Chinese gate, and this is what my island looks like at the moment. And while I was shooting the landscape for you, an itinerant merchant came to me. I bought a couple of rare blocks from him as well as ice. I don't know why, but I emeralds, and I thought it might be useful to me in the future. Maybe not. Prideful. But in any case, itinerant merchants don't come often, so I decided to skimp on his shop and continue building my bamboo garden. Well, finally almost everything is ready. It remains to grow cherry trees and trim them. What a beautiful garden I managed to build. When I finished, the sniffer got one sprout of a new flower for me, and I immediately decided to plant it. I took a hoe and a bucket of water and planted the flower in a random place. In any case, I will then move it to another place. I just didn't want to waste time choosing a place right now, because it doesn't matter. This is what my island looks like at the end of day 60. Let's recap a little before starting day 61. And so, we built a giant bamboo mansion, a huge and beautiful cherry blossom tree, a portal to hell and a bamboo garden, the Chinese gate, 2 farms, found a sniffer, got a new plant, and put a bunch of resources and knocked out 2 tridents. As for me, we managed to do quite a lot in 60 days. We have less time left, only 39 days, during which we have to kill the dragon, knock out the head of the piglin and craft the netherite armor, and find the camel and bring it to our island, as well as find the alerter. Well, now you can start completing tasks. Let's begin, friends. I took bone meal to grow my new flowers, which the sniffer got for me, and just look how beautiful they are. It's just incredible. This is really something new and beautiful in Minecraft. Yeah, I would like to collect a whole bunch of these flowers, but it takes time. So if you want, I will shoot 200 days on this island and collect a whole bunch of flowers. Write comments if you want to see another 100 days on this island. I planted flowers in their places, and now my island has become even more beautiful. Next, I decided to use the leftover bone meal to grow grass around my island, so that it would look even more alive and beautiful. This would give it a more natural look. After I was completely done with the island fertilizer, I decided to enchant my tridents. And with one of them I was very lucky. I enchanted it to summon lightning, and now I will be able to electrify the creeper, and the second trident allows me to fly during a thunderstorm in the wake of the trident. These are pretty good enchantments, and they will be very useful to me. That's what I wanted. I also decided to enchant some books in my armor in order to get more profitable enchantments, but the books did not help me. Although I enchanted my helmet, not very cool, but the chest and pants receive pretty cool enchantments, and I am very happy about this. I think that I will become much stronger, because I still have an ender dragon and a visor boss in my plan, so the armor will come in handy, and then I decided to knock out the piglin's head, which is quite difficult to get. I started running from chunk to chunk to chunk to speed up the appearance of creepers on my platform, and although they spawned there from time to time, I'd had a few problems. Initially there was no thunderstorm, which means that I just couldn't electrocute the creeper. And even when the storm started, I was constantly plagued by bad luck, and accidentally killed a couple of creepers. While I was waiting for the creepers, I decided to go to hell and bring Piglin closer to the portal, since it is safer to walk through hell with a Piglin than with a walking nuclear bomb in the form of a creeper. So Piglin is easier. In hell, I appeared near the Hell Fortress and decided to walk there. In case there would be something interesting there, I met several mobs there. In the form of Blaze, Pork zombies with a skeleton, and Ghast. I fought them off and realized that the fortress does not have what I need. So I can come back here a little later, and now I need to find a Piglin and bring him to the portal. To get his head, however, Piglins are not very smart creatures, and when I tried to bring them to the portal, they just fell off the hell rock one by one and died. So I had to go to look for Piglins further. I found some Piglins, but they were very far from the portal, and I had to build special steps for them. It took a long time for them to follow me up to the portal, and in the end, I was still able to bring one Piglin to the portal, although even after all this, the difficulties with getting the head are still not over. They are just beginning. So let's not hesitate and continue. I went back to normal and decided to charge the creeper, but time after time I couldn't do it. I accidentally killed the creepers. They exploded. They fell into the water and a bunch of other problems. Charging the creeper turned out to be even more difficult than bringing the Piglin. I waited a very long time for new creepers to appear, made a bunch of attempts, and in the end one of the creepers completely worked out, and when I took him to hell it just exploded and Piglin survived. I went back to normal and kept trying to charge the creeper. A few more tries and finally I succeeded. Now I need to answer him to hell and kill the Piglin, although the big Piglin disappeared somewhere and only the little Piglin remained, but he will also fit, so let's just do it. And finally, after hundreds of attempts and failures, I was able to get the long-awaited Piglin head. It looks just fine. By the way, this head responds to the signal of the redstone and to the music block. I decided to take everything to the trophy room and put all my trophies there. Put the head in the chest. But after that, I changed my mind and decided to put it on the stand, or wall anyway. How it will look better for me on the stand, so let it be there. Then I removed the platform where the creepers spawned, because I don't need them anymore, and I don't need danger. For the next few days, I just prepared to kill bosses. I mined netherite, enchanted things, and brewed potions. After that, I went to kill the boss's visor, and as soon as I killed him, I took the star and returned home. I decided to craft crystal ender, and decided to take it to the trophy room. But I think it's also a pretty good trophy for my collection, and then, after that, I decided to go to the world of End, because I still have a lot of things to do there. I immediately began to break the dragon crystals. With the help of my new bow, I dealt with all the crystals quite quickly and began to kill the dragon. I decided not to waste time and kill it as quickly as possible. After killing the dragon, I will take its egg and put it in my trophy room. And also, I plan to walk around the vicinity of the Enderworld and look for shulkers. And for this, I need to get some Ender Pearls in order to get to the place I need. By the way, my 100 days of survival are almost over, and all I have to do is get Elytra and find a camel. As well as drag it to my island, I hope I will meet the 100 days and have time to fulfill all the tasks I set for this survival. And in the meantime, I fight off the most unpleasant monsters in the world. They're shulkers. How I hate them. I just hate them. But I need shulkers boxes. So I'm forced to fight them. I won't stay long in this fortress. I don't need many shulkers and elytra at all. After that, I go home after I killed the shulkers and took everything from the chests. By the way, they'd enchanted diamond armor. Not bad anyway. I went in search of the shulker ship to take the long-awaited elytras. And since the ship is not so difficult to find, especially since it was right next to the fortress, I climbed up there, killed a couple of shulkers, took things from the chests, and also took the elytra. Now I can leave the world of the region with peace of mind and return home. I have one last task left. I have to find a camel and bring it home. But I have to hurry. I have very little time left and I have to do it in time. When I got home, I put all my stuff in the trunks, put all the trophies, packed everything I needed and ran to look for the camel. I had to hurry because I don't plan to stay more than 100 days on this island in this video. And I still managed to do it. I brought the camel to the ocean, and now I just need to ferry it to my island. The task is completed and I lived for 100 days. Look how cool the camel looks and how cool it is. I will tie it near my bamboo garden and it will live with us. Now my island is not uninhabited, I live on it. Outside you're a sniffer and a camel, and also sometimes a wandering merchant comes in. In the end, I decided to spend all my experience on enchanting books. I was hoping to get something rare and cool, but all the enchantments didn't work out very well, so I'm a little disappointed. But this is the end of survival, so it doesn't matter. We lived for 100 whole days on a desert island, and here's what we managed to do during these days. Let's sum up the survival. First of all, I want to thank you for watching this video, and even more thanks to those who liked and subscribed to the channel. Also, do not forget to leave your comments, they are very important. And now the results of survival. We lived for 100 days, we managed to build the world's coolest giant bamboo mansion, a bamboo garden, a giant cherry blossom, a gate to hell, an enchantment, several farms, a Chinese gate. We brought home a sniffer and a camel, made netherite armor, defeated an ender dragon and a wither boss, collected a whole bunch of trophies, including a piglin's head. We went a giant way. But it's time to end the video. This is what our island looks like after 100 days of survival, and this is what it looked like on the first day. Thank you all very much for your views, and I wish you a good day or evening and goodbye. See you in the new Minecraft Hardcore 100 Days Survival video.
Hello, friends, and welcome to my cave. How do you survive when the whole world is one big cave? There is no sunlight, no peaceful mobs from the depths to the top of the world, just caves. And I'm stuck here for 100 days in this huge Minecraft world on hardcore difficulty. And if I die, my survival is over. I will have 100 days to survive here and build the most luxurious underground kingdom in the world. I will build the biggest railroad, tree farm, and since food is scarce underground, I will make a farm. Enjoy the game, everyone. So far, the only alternative to regular food is glowing berries, so I started collecting them. With food, I will have a lot of problems and for a very long time. Then I started mining wood and other resources to create iron armor as soon as possible. Otherwise, I will just die from the first group of monsters. The most important task for the first 10 days is to figure out a way to feed myself and not starve to death underground where there is absolutely no food and only swarming monsters that want to kill me. I found diamonds, but the creeper won't let me take them. Plus, I need an iron pickaxe. And there's no iron or stone here, so I'll go up a bit higher to a height of 50 or so. There will be more resources there to start surviving, and then I'll go back to my height. I'm going to make iron armor and sword very quickly, otherwise the monsters will just not let me move around the cave and get resources, and I'll end up starving to death. Also, I definitely need to make a shield to go harvest wheat seeds in the cave and not be afraid that I will be killed by another skeleton that spawns here every second. So now, very quickly, I need to dig up iron and coal and start making my first armor and sword. I was lucky enough to find a cave that had a whole bunch of iron, gold, and other useful resources that would allow me to become stronger and start wresting my cave from the hands of evil monsters. I feel so sad at the thought that there is no sunshine here, no rain here, no sky here. It's a constant life amongst rocks and underground rivers, tons of monsters and dangers at every corner. It's so sad. In the meantime, I am mining coal, iron, and all the resources that come my way, so that I can grab the thread of development as quickly as possible. I think that the first 10 days are the most important in my survival, because I have to survive without things, get food, make a house. What happens? I have nothing, and I have to overcome deadly difficulties to survive. To tell you the truth, I'm making this video for the third time, because the first 2 times I died without milking until the 5th day. I hope this time I won't die. Otherwise, I'll get discouraged and stop playing Minecraft Cave World only. I finally got my first diamonds. I need to find another one and I can make a diamond pickaxe, but I don't have time for that right now. I need to make iron armor, get wheat seeds, and start building my kingdom. I really like Gnome Kingdom, so I will be building something in their style. In fact, live 100 days as a gnome because their life consists of eternal battles, crafting, and mining. So if it pleases you, today I'm a dwarf. Right now, I'm starting to clear the land for my future gnome kingdom. I hate the deep cobblestone that takes twice as long to break as regular stone, but it is prettier and will make exactly what I wanted. A real gnome kingdom. I also want to make a forge and become a real blacksmith. But now I will make a wheat farm to feed myself for the next 90 days of survival. By the way, friends, do not forget to put likes and subscribe to my channel. I will be glad to all new subscribers. There will be many more new videos soon. I quickly make a bucket, draw water, and make a farm. In the future, the farm will be bigger. But now this size will be enough. I think at first any farm will do. I also decided to gather more resources to finish myself an iron set of armor and a shield that will protect me from arrows that so often fly at me from the darkness, as well as mining the precious earth that just can't be found in my cave on the lower levels. Now I'm completely ready to make a farm and I'm coming home. Right after that, I'll start building a kingdom and setting up my forge. Since I am in a cave, wheat can't just grow. I will have to make additional light sources so that I can plant wheat. Now I start to clear the walls to increase the size of my farm and make the room more spacious. By the way, in the future I will grow not only wheat but also carrots and potatoes, watermelons and pumpkins, but for this I need to find the necessary seeds. In the near future, I plan to build a railroad, which will help me move faster through the caves, save time and food, as well as allow me to safely bypass all enemies and get to different places faster than usual. Plus, I've been wanting to build a railroad for a long time, because I've been surviving in caves for 100 days, and what normal cave doesn't have a wagon and rails? So while I'm making the farm, I'm melting gold on the clock to keep track of time, and I also want to make accelerating rails on red dust. I get some more diamonds and finally find what I've been looking for. It's a cave spider spawner. I need a spider web to make a fishing rod, a bow, a bed, and a crossbow. As you can see, this is a very important find for me, and it will help me a lot in my survival. So even though I have no food and I'm dead, I can't lose this chance and not look in this cave, otherwise this opportunity may not come up again. In my caves, mobs will spawn all the time, so I will return home and start to light up the area with torches to reduce their number of spawning near my house and to protect myself. So sooner or later, I will light up the entire area near my house. and will be able to completely get rid of all the aggressive monsters in the area. And then my world will be at least a little kinder to me and probably will not even try to kill me. In the future, I will need an enchanting pot for my armor and weapons, but I haven't figured out how to make it yet because there is no leather or paper in this world, or at least it is much harder to get it than in the normal world. So survival in caves is much harder than simple survival in the normal world. In this cave, there were a lot of spiders and I had a little difficulty. I had very little food and no normal weapons. So to fight off the cave spiders was very problematic, but I tried to beat out of them as much as possible threads and stay here more time. Because of desperation, I started to eat the eyes of spiders, but it actually did not help me much. Because the spiders poisoned me a lot, I had to retreat. I got enough threads. I have enough for everything I need, and I decided to get some wood in this cave. Now I have a shortage of wood, so I can take boards from an abandoned mine. I don't think anyone will mind. I decided to make a stone axe so that it would go faster and I wouldn't have to dig with my hands. So let's start mining all these planks, hoping that this cave doesn't collapse on my head. Finally, when I get home, I will be able to create a diamond pickaxe, and I will be able to build my kingdom out of dark stone faster. For now, I need to melt everything down and start clearing the area for the future castle. Look how well I put the stoves near the lava. It looks like a real forge with a smelter. It gave me the main idea to build my house. I think soon there will be a very beautiful kingdom with a lot of cool and beautiful things. I create myself a chest and some more stoves to melt metals faster. Well, as a fishing rod and a bow. With a fishing rod, I will be able to fish and get more food. I do not know if I can fish in the cave, but hopefully yes. In the meantime, it is already the 12th day of survival, and I finally start to make my house. I think that at least 5 days will take to calculate the areas and build the basic framework of my house. And then it remains only to finalize it and make the railroad. I think I will be able to do everything before 21 days of my survival in this hardcore world. Now I have nothing left to do but build a house because I don't have any food except glowberries, and they are not very nourishing. I can't go anywhere, so I have to wait until my farm grows crops and I can bake bread. Only then I can go traveling further in my world, only cave. It's hard to break this black stone. Even with a diamond pickaxe, it takes a long time to break and it makes it hard and slow to build my kingdom, but this stone is very beautiful. So I'll take my time and dig as much of it as I need to build everything according to my design. So for now, I'll tidy up my area, building steps, fixing the lava fountain, and improving some details to make my house look perfect. I think I might start building the railroad as soon as I finish building the house because I need to get enough food before I go anywhere anyway. So if I still haven't got enough food by the time I finish building the house, I'll start building the house. I'll start building the railroad, but I need to get a lot more iron for the rails, but I think I know where I could borrow some. Remember the abandoned mine? I think there's a lot of rails there that nobody wants and I could go and get them for free. Now, we need to completely remove all the andesite, remove all the unnecessary rocks, and completely clear the area to build my house. I thought it would be faster, but apparently I was wrong, and in this cave I will have to spend a lot of time and break a lot of picks to make this rock a full-fledged giant castle. To be honest, I am a little tired, but I think that soon things will go faster when I start to build and not break. I hope my kingdom will turn out to be really very cool. Now my house looks like this. I will show all the stages of changing and improving it, so watch the video to the end and do not rewind. In a few days I will show you the result of my work and you will be amazed. Also, very soon there will be a railroad that I wanted to build in my kingdom for a long time. As soon as I entered the world of caves, the first thing that came to my mind that I have to build the coolest railroad in the world, as well as I plan to build the biggest railroad in the world. Right now, you can see the final stage of clearing the area, and right now, I am starting to build the steps, walls, floor, and ceiling. I need patience and coffee while I make this giant house. Now I will finish these stones and go to harvest my crops. I think at least something should have grown in my vegetable garden by now. Unfortunately, my garden has not yielded yet, but I found some iron, and by the way, my house already looks not bad, although it's just the beginning of my work, but it's already getting good. I made steps to the second floor of my cave, so that if I need resources from the upper caves, I can easily get there on these steps. My house is starting to look like a house, not a regular cave, and I'm very happy about it. Finally, as promised, I'm showing you how my house looks now. It's been almost 20 days, and I'm happy with the result. I already have a roof over my head. I have a vegetable garden, a balcony, a smelter, and even a bed. I'm slowly starting to prepare the rails that would lay them along the entire cave. There's not much left before I start building it. I would like you to write in the comments what kind of survival you would like to see on my channel. I will implement any of your ideas if it will get a lot of likes on the comments. So write in the comments ideas and like those that you like. Well, I continue to build a house and tear down unnecessary walls to build new ones from polished deep stone. This house is really becoming like something worthwhile. I hope that soon I will be able to finish it. Suddenly, 3 Endermen came to visit me. In this situation, I am very weak to defeat at least one of them. I have no normal weapons, no armor, and I understand that if I engage them in direct combat, I will most likely die and my survival will end. So I try to hide from them and come up with a plan. At first, I thought they would leave and I would be alone, but they started collecting blocks right outside my house, and I realized I had to fight them off. I took a bucket of water and decided to pour it in the corner of my house. They are afraid of water and can't come near me, and I can hit them from a distance. This plan worked, and I started killing one by one the thieves who wanted to dismantle my house. Thank God I had a bucket of water. I started baiting them one by one and killing them standing in the water, as I thought they just stood there and looked at me while I killed them. Mission accomplished, and I freed my house. Now I can continue building and prevent this from happening again. I urgently need to build a gate so the monsters won't bother me anymore. I have expanded my farm a bit and planted more wheat in order to produce more bread and never go hungry. Then I continue to build the walls of my wonderful castle. No one will stop me from finishing it. I am very glad that I kicked the Endermans out of my house. Now I feel better than ever. I am full of confidence and strength. I've lit up my whole house with torches so that monsters don't come in and spawn. Sorted my stuff, and I've decided to improve my balcony a bit. I decided to improve my balcony a little. For this, I will need to make a lot of bricks. And also, finally, the moment has come when I can start building my railroad. For this, I will need to prepare a place for it. But first, I will take care of the balcony and properly decorate it with bricks. That's better. I think the brick looks very nice in my house, and now I'm going to make the rails for my railroad. I've come up with a layout, and it will look like this. The first point of my railroad will start at my house, and the second point at the bottom of my house. They will be connected by one route and will always lead to my house, so I can get on the railroad car, go where I need to go, and get off at the stop, and the railroad car will go back to my house and wait for me, and I will have a second railroad car in my inventory. So if I want to go home, I will put it on and go straight to my castle. I make ordinary iron rails and rails on the red dust that will speed up my wagon. While I was laying the rails, I got 2 clowns, Skeleton and Creeper. The Skeleton constantly tried to shoot at me, but to his regret hit the Creeper. Each time the arrow flew right into his green friend. In the end, fell out a plate that I successfully forgot to pick up, but it does not matter. I went to the lake and saw their axolotl. I took him in a bucket and decided to make a cozy room for him in his kingdom. You need to populate it with someone, so I decided that he will be my first friend. I decided to dig room in it to make a lake and a lot of vegetation that he would feel comfortable, and the move did not affect his life, however. In the future with him will happen something not very pleasant, but you will see it a little later. But for now, this is the room he will have. I think he will be comfortable to live in it, although not for a long time. This room turned out to be almost perfect. I just need to add a few details so that everything would be nice and cozy for my aquatic friend. I think it would not hurt to put a couple of bushes here and hang glowing berries, as well as add a couple of these details. Now I like this room even more. I think he will like it too. I also think I should put a wooden door in here, just in case no one comes in to see my axolotl and he doesn't decide to run away from my castle. Although I think he likes my conditions better than living in the wilderness with zombies and creepers. I hope so at least. Otherwise, it would be very sad. I think I need to go get more rails and resources for them. I just don't have enough of my resources for even half of what I have planned. I decided to run around the caves, as much as my armor allows me to walk around and not be afraid of monsters. I'm going to look for abandoned caves, mines. I also hope to collect more diamonds, gold, iron, and redstone. During these few days, I really found quite a lot of resources. Wandered through different caves and found a lot of interesting things. Managed to fight with monsters and even a couple of times almost died. It would be a shame given that I have already lived 23 days. But I all managed to survive. And I am very happy about it. I hope you are still watching this video and support me, because without you, I would not have succeeded. It's true. Thank you so much, and don't forget the like and subscribe button. The days are quietly passing and I haven't done anything global. So as soon as I get back from this cave and do all my little things and fill my needs, I'm gonna go looking for a whole bunch of obsidian. To be exact, I need over 200 pieces to build the biggest portal to hell in the world. Only caves in Minecraft Hardcore. I have collected a lot of rails from the abandoned caves, so it will be easy for me to complete my railroad when I return home. Plus, I have collected a lot of iron, gold, and redstone. So I am sure that soon we will ride on my finished railroad. How long I have been going to this, I hope I will not disappoint you. I think it's time to go home. I've gathered quite a lot of resources and I'm out of food, and I'm afraid I won't last long without food. I came home and decided to quickly harvest my crops and plant seeds in places where the field is empty, and also brought a new friend for my axolotl. To my great regret, they are not friends and even managed to fight. So I will only have one axolotl, but I'm not too worried about it. I just didn't realize that axolotls fight over territory and that only one of them would survive. But what's done is done, and it's too late for regrets. So let's pack up and move on. We have a lot of cool stuff to do, so let's go do it quickly, or we won't have time to do everything I have planned in 100 days. I put all my ore to smelt and go to finish my railroad, but I decided to increase the scale of my railroad a little bit, and now I'm not sure again if I have enough resources to finish it or not. Let's hope. I hope that everything goes well, and the resources that I got in the cave in a couple of days will be enough, or I'll just start going crazy. I've spent so much time and effort on this project and I can't finish it for various reasons. I'm starting to believe that my railroad is cursed. I hope it's not true. I'll have to build the stairs all the way to the bottom and then build the railroad. I think it will take quite a long time. It's not the easiest job, but once I start doing it, I have to finish it. Otherwise, why did I start and plan all this? But in general, for 27 days, I got used to the caves and slowly start to feel comfortable here. I even like the vibe I get when I survive in such conditions. I really started to feel like some old dwarf blacksmith, but I don't have enough dwarves in a tavern with a spruce to be a real dwarf king. But I think that someday there will be dwarves in Minecraft, and then I'll make a new part where I'll sit on the throne of a dwarf king and rule a whole bunch of treacherous dwarves. But that's just my sick fantasy. Well, here's the first problem. I cannot switch the railroad as I need, and therefore will have to change the original plan and do a little differently. But I'm not too upset, actually. So perhaps it will be even better. Because if there will be two cars, they will not collide with each other, and I can safely leave them right on the railroad and then pick them up when I return home. So I will not constantly lose my carriages somewhere on the railroad tracks, and everything will be fine. Now I just need to lay all my railroad along those places in the cave that I need, that the stops would be as convenient as possible, and most importantly, that I could leave my carriages and they would come back to my home. I will need a lot of time for this. I hope I will not spend another 10 days. On it, because I still need to build the biggest portal to hell and kill the dragon of the Edge and Varden, I came back home to make some more iron and gold rails. Because what I have is not enough, so it's better to make more of them, so I don't have to come home 10 times, and I'll harvest the crops that have grown while I was away, make some food, and I can go on to make my giant railroad, which is more like a roller coaster and very crazy. Everyone's trying to stop me from finishing my railroad soon. That damn spider tried to throw me down, but he didn't succeed. Not this time, Spider-Man. I kept making my rails until they were done. Later, I went home to make more rails and came back to finish it. As it turns out, I need a lot more rails than I originally thought, so I'm gonna have to sweat to finish it. I'm taking all the melted gold and iron from the furnaces I left there earlier and making more rails to finish the road, and I'm finally getting back to making the railroad. It's 70. Complete, so the hardest part is behind me. I'm going to put gold rails every 10 blocks, but in the future I plan to replace all the rails with gold ones. I just don't have enough resources for that right now. I start to build a descent. Just there will be the junction of my two roads and get a big ring on which my wagons will ride and return home. But on the way, I met a witch who decided to stop me. Once again, this cursed world of caves does not let me do what I planned, and I have to retreat. The witch poisoned me, so I have no chance of surviving. I have no food, and I decide to go home again. I've come up with a great way to replenish my hunger, but I need a lot of gold and carrots. Yes, that's right. Gold carrots will replenish a lot of hunger, and I can save time harvesting wheat. So this is the best option for me. I just need to grow enough carrots. And now I need to go home and quickly, before the witch threw a potion of harm at me, and I did not lose my world. I will make more food, prepare more reels and blocks, and go on the last run. I will finish the railroad and finally be free. I plan to go to hell that would get their ancient orphanage. Armor and weapons, as well as I need to find the infernal growth because in the future I plan to resurrect the zombie inhabitant. It would not hurt me in my kingdom. But for now, I want to test my railroad and ride it home. And by the way, it is very convenient, for example, when I have no food and I run very slowly and in general. Probably until the end of the survival, I will not stop praising the railroad. Probably it is one of the best solutions in my survival. Although it is very difficult to build it surviving in a cave where a lot of mobs, and here I came home and my golden axolotl somewhere missing. Apparently they fought and one killed the other. I continued to make bread and decided to make myself a diamond armor that would damage from monsters is not so much felt in fights, so I will feel more confident. Well, and maybe it will save my life, I don't know. Also made myself a diamond sword because I'm tired of going unarmed in this dangerous world. After that, I checked how much armor the diamond breastplate gives me, and it gives me good armor, and now I can go fishing in the lake with the axolotl. I don't have enough bread, so I decided to catch some fish too so that I would have 100 enough to eat. I caught some fish and put it fried, and also I caught one cow skin, but it will not be useful to me because in the dungeons there is no sugarcane and find it is impossible. But in any case, I can think of a variant how I can get bookshelves. Perhaps some of you have already guessed how. Write in the comments if you know where you can get them. Let me tell you right away, this is not a village of inhabitants. There are no villages here either. In general, I will like the comment who guesses where I will get bookshelves. I wanted to make a special thing in which you can process wheat seeds and get bone meal, but there was no craft and I made a barrel. Later the craft appeared, but I did not notice it, so I will make this thing a little later. And now we take all the fried fish and finally we have food. Then when I went downstairs of my house, I saw a waterfall in which there was a lot of fish. I decided to catch it and take it for myself. I think I could use it, but it can't be fried and it doesn't make up for a lot of hunger. But that's okay. It's not a big deal. Anyway, it's not a big deal, considering that I'm having a big problem with food right now, but I think it won't be forever, and soon I'll be able to solve my food problem completely, and I won't be hungry ever again. I'm back to build the railroad, which last time I was prevented from building a witch threw a poison potion at me. Now I have good armor, plenty of food, and most importantly, I'm finally ready to finish it to the end, and it will work. I can move through the caves. My railroad is finally almost ready. It's just a matter of connecting it together and closing the circle. With it, I will be able to do all my other tasks. I will be able to go about my business. Save time. I think it will save me more time than I spent building it. I hope so. I need to build a little road because there is a lake here, and not to go around it, I will just make a small bridge over it so it will be faster. By the way, I will finally go to hell and start making Nezerite armor. I need it for my next tasks. I hope I can find enough Nezerite in hell and scrap it. Now here we will finish the rails, and we'll need to complete the descent from the mountain. Last time the witch did not let me finish it. I hope she is not there, although I have become stronger. Her poisoning can be deadly for me. So we will be careful. By the way, in the future we'll have to remake the usual rails in gold. I want all the rails to be gold, and then I will go even faster. By the way, you can think of your own tasks and write them in the comments. And in the next 100 days video, I will choose the coolest comments and fulfill your tasks. So feel free to write comments and share them. Video with your friends. I really want to get my first 1,000 subscribers. I decided to continue to build from cobblestones because I do not want to spend a lot of time on mining deep stone. I think it does not matter what color will be the ladder for my rails. The main thing that I was able to build it and I was not thrown from a height of some skeleton, lay the rails to the bottom and close our circle railroad just a little more, and we can test our roller coaster in the world of only caves. I need to make some more red torches and activate my rails. Oops, I think I overdid it a bit. I also realized that I had a stack of torches and I made another one for nothing. I'm not paying attention. I guess I'm just really tired. Let's finally finish the rails and ride the railroad car on them. I started to do them a little bit wrong, but that's okay. We'll fix it quickly and do it the way it should be done. And now let's finally, after so many days, ride our railroad. Okay, put a little bit of rail here and a little bit more here, and there we go. I'm finally done building this railroad. Let's finally get a ride home. There's a couple more things I'm going to do before I go looking for obsidian to build the biggest portal to hell. I need to make diamond armor. Go to the cave. Wait, it's the other way around. First go to the cave and then make the diamond armor, plant more wheat, and make a lot of bread so you don't starve to death in hell, and take a couple of rides on our wagon. I'm really curious how long it's going to take me to get this obsidian. I hope it won't take a few days. I have so many important things to do, and I want to do it all in 100 days. Anyway, I will hurry, and hopefully I can do it all very fast. Also, I want to kill Varden after hell when I make new armor. It doesn't make sense, because nothing valuable falls from him, and experience falls from him little. But this is my personal task that I want to do. Well, I'm happy with my railroad. I will need to refine it over time and add more high-speed rails, but in general, I'm satisfied with everything. I want to make a small lava fountain near my house that would be even more like the ancient dwarven kingdoms and betray the atmosphere of my house. Well, as illuminate the area, I dug a small hole that the lava would not spread throughout the territory and did not fry me. Very good. Gradually, my territory is becoming like a real kingdom. The borders are expanding and everything is becoming very beautiful and cozy. This is something I definitely would not have built on the surface, as I said. There is something about this survival underground. It is not a bad experience. Maybe it will help me in the future and in other survival because I come up with different options for survival and improve my skill. This is how at the moment looks like the fruit of our survival for 40 days in the caves. How do you think? I think it's not bad. We have achieved a lot, but there are still 60 days ahead. So it's not the end, and we will definitely do even better than it is at the moment. But for now, Here are the results of 40 days of survival. And now it's time to harvest our vegetable garden because while I was making the railroad, it's all ripe and it's time to plant new seeds and make some bread. I remembered that I have some diamonds in my chest, and before I go digging in the cave, I'm going to make some diamond boots. Helmet, and going to make some diamond boots helmet. Pants. Now I'll be completely in diamond armor, and the chance that I'll die is less. I'm happy about that. Now let's not stall. We need to get resources and dig up about 200 obsidian blocks. So let's go, friends. What a huge field of wheat I have grown. Now we will plant all the seeds and make a whole bunch of bread, and still soon we will need to make a sieve for processing seeds to get bone meal and get rid of the excess of wheat because I have nowhere to put the wheat seeds that accumulate at me after each harvest. By the way, I planted carrots, and now when the harvest is big, I will make golden carrots and hunger will not bother me. And finally, let's finally scrap diamond armor. Why I didn't do it before, I don't know. Oh, now the final preparation and go on a trip. I need to melt all my iron sort things and take all the necessary. I will make more buckets, a little to collect water or lava. As it turns out, if I find a lake of lava, I will fill it with water and dig obsidian. If not, I will have to collect lava. In buckets, in general, it will be seen, I think, in the caves, a lot of lava and problems with it will not be a problem. Well, and finally, we are using the railroad, not building it. Too much time I spent on it. But as you can see, it works fine, and that's the most important thing. Now I'm going down, then I'll go to the caves to collect resources and get obsidian. Wish me luck. I was attacked by 2 skeletons and almost killed me. I don't know how it happened, but apparently diamond armor is not enough for me. I need to enchant it and improve it with netherite. I found some diamonds and I'm mining them. Walking around an abandoned cave, I collected some iron and found a zombie spavner, but it's not what I need. I'm looking for a lava lake or obsidian. I decided to kill zombies and loot their treasury as well as to light up the whole place so that they do not spawn anymore. I may need this spavner in the future, so I will not break it for now. I guess let it be. I keep mining for resources and digging the cave for lava, and finally I got lucky and found a whole lake of lava. Now I fill it with water and start digging for obsidian. I need 2 whole stacks, so this one will take too long. But I have to build a huge portal to hell, so I have patience and start. Digging, a lot of digging. I'm going to dig up this whole lava lake. How long do you think it'll take? Hopefully not more than an hour or I'll go crazy getting all the obsidian. I finally got home and got obsidian. We're going up the rails home, and now I'm going to create the most gigantic portal in the world, just caves. I think it will go down in history, how convenient it is to move on the rails. I'm very glad I made it. I take the boards and start to build a bridge over the river and start to make the frame of our giant portal. I think there will be a lot of pig zombies in my world, but they don't touch just like that, so I'm not scared. And my world will be a little more alive. Okay, jokes are jokes, but our portal needs to be decorated and double framed and add a few more details to make it very massive and look very sturdy. It's not a portal, it's a real gateway to the underworld. The portal is almost ready to add a couple of details, and we will go to hell to mine netherite, to find the infernal fortress, to kill Piglin, and many more things. I think in hell I will spend the next 10 days. I want to go to hell one time and not go back there until the end of survival. That would not wander there again. I will get soul sand, ifrit rods, gastateers, upgrades for new armor, and a lot more. So the next 10 days are going to be very hot. Hopefully I can survive in hell full of danger. I'm going in without enchanted armor, so it's very dangerous for me, especially if I fall in. The lava. Let's summarize the past 10 days. I mined 200 obsidian. I found a zombie spavner. I improved the farm and made diamond armor. I finished the railroad and made a lava fountain, and also mined a lot of resources, not bad. And now it's time to go to hell and spend the next 10 days there. It will be just hell. Make some iced tea, turn on the air conditioner, sit back and open the freezers in your refrigerators, because right now the temperature is going to rise by 100 degrees. Let's go, guys. Adventure awaits. So I'm in hell. The first thing I think I need to do is to look around. Then I need to collect my portal so that when I get to some place, I can build a new portal and go back home from there. That way I won't run around hell too much. I'll appear in a cave and use the coordinates to get to my castle. It'll be much easier than looking for a portal in hell. So I'm mining lightstone and all the resources I see around me. I need to collect as much as possible because I've set myself the goal of not going back to hell. Although, spoiler, I'll have to come here again to make a non-zero axe. But that's another story. Now I'm mining magma, hoping to make a rocking chair, but this idea will leave me later and I'll make a regular one. With water and a pit, I will dig a cave in a flat line and look for netherite, and if I come across a dungeon or a castle, I will search it and take all the stuff from there and keep digging so I can get netherite and find a lot of useful resources. Meanwhile, while I was digging, my plan worked and I dug out near the infernal fortress. I immediately started building a path to it to climb. I was met by monsters and had to fight them off. I fought the monsters and started looking for chests in the fortress. I heard that with a small chance you can find armor upgrades in it, so I mustn't miss any chests. As soon as I'm done, I'm going to dig further into the cave. By the way, I have to look for a hell spawn. I want to find a zombie resident and brew a potion of weakness to cure him. I already have the golden apple, so only the potion remains. While I was running around the infernal fortress, I met two very interesting skeletons. They both had enchanted bows and they were fighting each other. I decided to wait until they kill each other. It's interesting, at home a skeleton attacked a creeper. Here it's skeleton attacked a creeper. Here it's skeleton against skeleton, maybe. They become kind. Or are they just idiots? I think the second. In general, I finished the skeletons and went on. On the way, I finally found the infernal growth that I really need for the potion, collected it, and decided to collect the Sand of Souls, that then do not look for it all over hell. But I will not grow it anyway, just in case I took it with me, in case it comes in handy somehow. After I had searched half of the fortress and killed a couple of Ifrites, I ran around the fortress, collected some more infernal growth, found a couple of chests and took everything I needed. After fighting off the monsters, I decided that it was time to move on, and there was nothing else here. So I got out of the fortress and went to dig a cave further. While I was digging, I found a deposit of 3 netherite ores. I was very happy because I hadn't found any netherite until now, and I thought I would never find any. After I got it, I continued digging the cave, and after about a day and a half, I came across another hellish fortress. It was just gigantic. It was the most gigantic fortress I had ever seen in my life. I was just surprised and mesmerized by its beauty and scale and the number of monsters that were on it. It was just a shock. I climbed up there and started killing a skeleton, and a Ifrit attacked me, and I decided to kill it with a bow so I wouldn't die from the fire. It was very dangerous to me. Then I found an Ifrit spawner and decided to stay there for a few minutes to get rods for all the crafting and resources I needed. Actually, I did not expect that my trip to hell will be so intense. It is the coolest adventures in hell, and this fortress I explored for several days. I have a feeling that the size of this fortress is like 5 usual or even 10. I think you will see for yourself its size. Write in the comments if you have ever seen a fortress bigger than this. Anyway, I continued to explore the fortress after I got the right amount of rods. There was only one problem, and it was that the amount of food was steadily and quickly decreasing to 0, and soon I will have to get out of this situation. But I do not know how, because in hell there are not many ways to get food, and my food farm right now is a few tens of thousands of meters away from me and in another world. There were more than 10 chests in this fortress, and I collected a lot of resources. Diamonds, various crafting materials, saddles that I probably won't need because there are no friendly mobs in the caves, but I took them anyway. Maybe they will be useful for some of my own purposes, or maybe a resident will buy them from me for emeralds. After I searched the whole fortress, I decided to dig the cave again and look for more fortresses, and soon I finally found what I was looking for. It was the Pyglin Fortress, and I was very happy because there is a 100 chance that there will be at least one blacksmithing template to improve my diamond armor. I stayed in the fortress until the end of my 10 days and got a lot of useful things. A lot of diamonds, netherite, armor upgrades, a couple of times almost died, but got a lot of gold blocks, also broke my diamond armor, and ate all the golden apples that I found there. But still, I managed to survive through all the difficulties and returned home on 61 days As soon as I got back home, I started processing all the resources and materials I had gotten. I started copying templates and crafting new armor, smelting ores and preparing for a new quest. This time, I'm going to prepare to kill the Varden and the Ender Dragon. It's going to be difficult, but by the 100th day, I'll be ready to go to the edge, but I'll be looking for the portal a little earlier. Remember what I said about the bookshelves? Well, in the Fortress of the Edge, there is a library in which you can find up to 3 chests with different enchanting books, paper, and other resources. As well as this library is full of bookshelves and other useful things. So as soon as I make all the armor, harvest, and smelt all the ores, I will go in search of the fortress, as well as try to get diamonds, because I spent all my diamonds, and now I lack them. I finally created a sieve that will process wheat seeds into bone meal, and thus I will grow trees and other seeds quickly. So this thing is very simple but very useful for me now. Considering my lack of wood and the fact that it doesn't grow by itself very fast, I'm going to speed up its growth. With bone meal, the pig zombies have started to come to my world. I decided to start a war with them. I probably shouldn't have done that because there will be a lot of them in my world, but I don't plan to close the portal to hell. So I have to be friends with them somehow, otherwise I might just die. I made some golden carrots and went in search of diamonds. I didn't spend too much time in the cave, so I didn't get many diamonds, but I don't need many. I just need to fix my armor and make myself new boot and helmet, and improve it with the upgrades I found in hell. I finally became a complete Nesserite, and now the mobs of my normal world are not scary for me, except for Varden, of course. I'm making an anvil to repair my armor. By the way, I didn't even notice that I have 43 levels. So as soon as I can make an enchanting table, I can also enchant my armor, and then I'll be 100 protected. From almost all mobs, falls, and fire, I feel incredibly cool. Look how cool I look. I didn't think I'd live to be 65 days old and become so strong. Now it's time to improve my pickaxe, and I have one more improvement template left. I'll be able to improve my axe in the future, but now I want to find a zombie inhabitant and heal him. First, I'll go get more resources, by the way. I need a lot of iron. I want to create a few golems that would help me kill Varden, and also to kill Varden need about 2 glasses of iron that would constantly repair the golem. I found a resident and slowly but surely brought him home. For some reason, he refused to climb the stairs, and I had to build it with wood. After I was able to bring him home, I realized that I do not have all the ingredients to create a potion of weakness, and I had to go look for a spider eye. Well, I was looking for it a few days past, and unfortunately the zombie resident disappeared, so I have to go look for a new one. It's a shame it took me so long to bring this one home. Now I have to start all over again, but I've set myself this goal anyway, and I have to fulfill it. So I'm going to go look for it right now, and hopefully I'll be able to do it very quickly. By the way, while I was walking through the caves, I found a bottle of honey. It will be very useful for me to brew a potion. So this trip 100s can be called very successful. I finally brewed the potion I need. I'll quickly find a new zombie inhabitant, and we can cure him. While I'm looking for an inhabitant, I'm thinking it would be nice to grow some wood. All my supplies are running low. So I'll make a lot of bone meal and grow some trees. I want to build a special platform where I'll have a tree farm. I have 1 block of grass and I can use it to make a nice clearing, thanks to the Enderman. Now I will quickly heal the resident and try to pump it up a bit. I have extracted quite a lot of emeralds and other resources, so I can make my resident very cool. In addition, the residents that you save from the zombies will make a very big discount on all their resources, to be honest. I thought that the zombie resident will heal faster, but it took quite a long time. I had time to go out to eat while I was waiting for it to be reborn. But I did it, and now my castle will have not only an axolotl and fish, but also 1 resident. I will not make more residents. It takes a lot of time. And I'm not sure I'll have time to do everything I need in the next few days if I go looking for more residents. My resident buys threads and sells fish. I have a lot of threads as well as emeralds, so I have something to trade with him. I immediately sold him all my threads that I could collect from chests, and bought from him all the fish. I decided to feed the fish to my axolotl in general. The task was just to give him friends, but he began to eat them, so friendship they did not work out. But this is his personal business. I do not care about them. The main thing that I pumped my resident, I made a cage for the resident that he would not run away from my house, and my resident got a new level. Now he sells fishing rod with enchantments, buys more kinds of fish, and can even cook it for a fee. Not bad, maybe I can use it in the future. We'll see. If I don't have enough food, I'll fish and trade with my resident. If I have enough, my resident will just live with me. Next, I decided to go plant trees and decorate my territory. I realized that ordinary trees are not enough for me, and I need to implement my plan with a huge platform and tree farm. I started to build a platform. It will consist of 2 half islands connected by a narrow path. First, I will just build a platform, then I will plant the earth and a block of grass. Wait until it grows grass and make a fence that would make everything look nice and aesthetic. Also need to light everything that would not spawn monsters and a little to finish the path to my house. That would be comfortable to walk. After that, I took a bunch of tree seedlings and bone meal and began to grow a whole bunch of trees. One more task completed, and now I will have an endless source of wood. I am very happy that my life is getting better and living is becoming much more comfortable. Perhaps by the 100th day I will live like in heaven or hell. We'll see. By the way, just look how much we managed to do in 68 days. We managed to build a huge kingdom, make a cool armor, heal a resident, and get a pet. We managed to create a tree farm and a wheat farm, get a whole bunch of resources, and even go to hell and explore it from head to toe. I think this is a good result, and survival is very interesting. I've never had this experience before, and at first I was very scared and it didn't work out. I reshot it several times and finally 68 days, and I'm still alive. I'm very happy. I hope you're watching me and getting the same emotions as me while surviving in this wonderful world. I love these caves. Well, now I have to finish my farms and get ready for a new journey. Adventure is waiting for us friends. Even such an island of grass with trees seems to me a paradise in a world of caves where it is constantly very dark, wet, and cold, and monsters 24 hours a day hunting you. It's a pity that I cannot have pigs or cows, but it's not bad. I have a resident, I have an axolotl, and I have an axolotl, and I have a cool roller. Coaster, what else do you need for happiness? After I finished the island, I planted all the remaining tree seedlings and finished my tree farm to the end. In the future, maybe I will do some more farms, but for now I'm going back home to harvest wheat and carrots and make more food. And after that, I plan to go on a trip to find the fortress of the land. I got on the cart and went on my way. Now I need to find Enderman and get enough pearls to find the portal to the end. Spoiler alert, it will be very difficult because there is no open sky above my head, and in order to throw the eye of the edge, I will have to find sufficiently open areas of the cave. Otherwise, they will just fly into the blocks of stone and disappear. I went in search and fought with a very large number of monsters before I got as many pearls as I needed. Before going in search, I decided to prepare. Because the path is really very long, I will need to take a lot of food with me so that I do not die of hunger on the way. So I went to cut a lot of wood, and my tree farm helped me a lot in this. I also decided to harvest on my farm and make some more food, after which I am completely ready to go in search of the Fortress of the End. It will be a very long and difficult journey. I got into the trolley and went on the road by rail. I spent a lot of time looking for a fortress. This task turned out to be more difficult than I thought, due to the fact that most often the cave is very narrow and low. There was simply nowhere to throw the eye of the edge in 90 of cases. So I had to look for open spaces and canyons where I could throw them. I dug a lot of caves, met a whole bunch of monsters, and along the way looked for the Fortress of the End. I was even able to find a zombie spawner, but I decided to break it because I already have a whole bunch of spawners, and besides they are useless, I would not refuse a skeleton spawner, but it will be very difficult to find. They are much less common than zombies. I continued to dig a cave and even managed to find an amethyst biome. I decided to get some of them. They look very nice, and maybe I will decorate my house with them if I find the time to do so. Finally, after a whole bunch of days, I was able to find a lead and immediately started digging the blocks underneath me. I went down to the very bottom. And yes, I finally found this fortress. By the way, I fell right to the portal. Incredible luck, because most often you have to look for a portal for a very long time. Through the corridors of this fortress, I immediately killed the silverfish and broke their spawner. I decided to activate the portal, although I don't need it now, but I just really like the way it looks. So after looking at it a little, I still began to perform the main task at the moment. I searched a few chests on the way to the library. They had very good resources. I found a blacksmith template to engrave on my infernal armor. I collected all the bookshelves and searched the chests that were there. I found a lot of useful materials, such as enchanted books, sheets of paper, and blacksmith templates, after which I wrote down the coordinates of the fortress and immediately returned home in order to create an enchantment table and enchant my things. I also planted pumpkins because soon they will be useful to me to kill the Varden with iron golems. As soon as I created the enchantment table, I started collecting wood to make a lot of bookshelves and get the maximum level of enchantment. I made as many as 42 bookshelves and furnished my enchantment table with them. I didn't really like the enchantment effects that fell on my armor, so I enchanted my crossbow and decided to try to enchant some things with the books I found in the fortress. I made myself a crossbow for fast fire and triple shot. It will come in handy in the battle against the dragon. I tested how my crossbow shoots and I really liked it. I decided to go back home and make a lot of iron blocks to create my iron golems, but I still had to wait for my pumpkins to grow. Otherwise, I just won't be able to create a golem. While the pumpkins are growing, I went to the bottom of the cave to kill the monsters with my new crossbow, and it really impressed me. There was only one problem. I had very few arrows in stock, and I definitely wouldn't have enough of them to fully shoot a crossbow. So I need to find a skeleton spawner and create a farm of arrows and bones, which is what I will do in the next days, and before that I decided to add an emerald engraving to my new armor. This will make it look even more beautiful and more threatening. After that I will go to the mine and look for a skeleton spawner, along the way extracting resources that I constantly run out of. For now, I've decided to light up the area near my house with torches so that there are a lot fewer monsters spawning here. I want to create a real paradise in this cave, and monsters have no place in my paradise. I will gradually illuminate everything here and turn these caves into real paradise. Quarters, but for now, I will return home and melt all my iron, of which I have accumulated a great deal in all the days that I have wandered through the caves in search of the fortress of the land. And while I have time, I will still make an engraving on my armor. I decided that it was time to enchant my armor because I had a lot of levels again. I wanted to enchant my pants or breastplate, but there were bad enchantments again and they didn't suit me. So I decided to enchant my boots. I didn't get the best enchantment, but I'm fine with it, at least for now. I also enchanted my pants and still I got a good enchantment. I got 3 protection and 3 durability, and it's pretty cool. I didn't have enough experience for the chest piece and helmet on this. I'll enchant them a little later. I went to my house and decided to harvest to replenish the food supply. This time a lot of carrots, watermelons, and wheat grew. I am satisfied with the harvest. I planted the seeds in place in empty beds and converted some of the excess into bone meal. I will be able to create a golden carrot. The only thing that upset me is that the pumpkins never grew. And I understood what the problem was. Most likely in the direction in which they grow, they cannot grow because of the beds. So I trampled them and ran to make a golden carrot. I've created a lot of golden carrots, and the food issue will be closed for a very long time. Now I've decided to copy the blacksmith templates for improvement and started preparing for the adventure. This time, I'm going to go in search of a skeleton spawner and create a bone and arrow farm. After that, I plan to kill a couple of Vardens and complete another of my tasks. The hardest part in my video begins, after all. One mistake can lead to my death, so in order to protect myself, I will take an iron golem with me. I think with it, I can easily kill Varden and complete this task. I've been looking for a skeleton spawner for a very long time. I came across a lot of spider and zombie spawners, but not skeletons. I was already desperate, and when I found a zombie spawner again, I thought, why do I need all this? But I still remembered that the dragon won't kill itself, and I need to get a couple of stacks of arrows somewhere, maybe more. And after I killed all the zombies and took all the materials and items I needed from their dungeon, I went in search of the skeleton dungeon, and after a whole lot of time, I managed to do it. At first, I decided to try to kill skeletons with my own hands. I didn't really want to waste time on creating a farm because I already spent a lot of time looking for a spawner. But even in my cool armor, the skeletons gave a good fight, and I had to write down the coordinates of the spawner and return home to take resources to the farm. I went back and made a farm that worked just fine. Skeletons fell down. I killed them and got a lot of experience arrows and bones, as well as a whole bunch of bows and broken armor with different enchantments. I spent just one day to knock a lot of resources out of them that would last me until the end of my survival. So the time spent on the farm paid off. If I just ran around the caves and looked for skeletons, I would spend even more time. As soon as I got everything I needed and even more, I decided to go home. But I hung around the rocking chair for a while and couldn't stop killing skeletons. I think it's very addictive. I've gained a lot of experience, and now I can enchant absolutely all my things. Look how many resources I knocked out of the skeletons. It's really a lot. I think now I'm going to hate skeletons even more. For what I've been doing with them all day anyway, it's time to go home. I have the coordinates of the spawner written down, and if I need to, I'll come back here again. But I think it's unlikely. I returned home, and finally the pumpkin grew. I collected it and decided it was time to kill Varden. Before going to the Varden, I still decided to enchant all my armor, but I had no luck with enchantments and I tried to enchant books, hoping that the enchantments would change, but I was not very lucky this time. I enchanted my helmet quite well, but the sword and breastplate did not enchant very well. But in any case, it will give some protection, and I will become stronger. I don't have time to choose a bunch of enchantments and spend a lot of experience on it. I'll get by with such enchantments. I immediately went to look for the Varden biome and found it pretty quickly. For some reason, everything around was filled with the Varden biome, so I immediately started to summon it, but some Varden spawners didn't work due to the fact that it couldn't detect my sound, no matter how much I made. Noise, it didn't spawn, and I had to look for a new spawner. I was very scared, especially at the moment when I made a golem and everything went dark in my eyes. Varden appeared very unexpectedly, and the golem immediately attacked him. Varden managed to hit me once before dying, and at that moment I almost died of fear. My life is hanging by a thread, and if it wasn't for the golem, I'd die in such a stupid fight with Varden. I'll have to be more careful next time. It's time to go back home and go to the final 10 days that I will spend in the dragon world. I want to find the litters and kill the ender dragon, collect shulkers, and many more things we have to do. But now the final preparations, I also want to take a golem with me. I think he can help me while I break the dragon crystals. I take more arrows and load my crossbow. Well, friends, wish me good luck in the final battle. Let's go. As I gather all the things I need, my hands start to sweat and my eyes are watering. Is our survival coming to an end? I can't even believe it. We have done so much with you in these 90 days. We have come such a long way. So many adventures and trials. Lord, this world of only caves has become my own. Even somehow sadly saying goodbye to it and going on the last journey to the world of the dragon. Well, for this, we all started, by the way. Friends, if you want, I will take 200 days of survival in this world. If you like and write a comment, then I will return to this world and live another 100 days. I am waiting for your feedback. Well, the battle has begun. There is no turning back. I need to destroy all the dragon crystals before engaging in battle with him. I think my crossbow will make it much easier for me, because I have 3 arrows flying at once instead of 1. In fact, I will have to line up to the crystals since some of them are covered with an iron grate, and unfortunately, it will not work to break them with a crossbow. I hope the dragon doesn't knock me back and I don't die from the fall. It would be terrible, and it would be the most terrible fail of all. While I was making an iron golem, the dragon shot me with its kizut, or whatever it was. It almost killed me. I somehow managed to run away and thus avoid death. Phew, lucky that I brought the golden apple with me. I quickly recovered and returned to the battle. I need to break all the crystals as soon as possible, otherwise I won't last long. And by the way, creating an iron golem was more of a mistake than a right decision. It became a hindrance, because it attacked all the Endermen who attacked me after the golem's death. So for the future, don't take the iron golem with you to the final battle. It will ruin everything for you. In the meantime, the number of dragon crystals is decreasing, which means that soon I will start killing the dragon itself. I've run out of blocks and I don't have time to get them. So I decided to break all the crystals that I can with a crossbow, and the rest will have to be broken with the help of ender pearls. I have been shooting a lot and for a long time at giant towers. It was very difficult to hit the crystals that I can't see because of their huge height. But still, little by little I succeeded. The dragon kept trying to stop me, but in the end it didn't work. I broke the last crystals and began to kill the dragon. To be honest, breaking the crystals was more difficult than killing the dragon itself. Even the enders gave me more problems than the dragon itself, although a couple of times I really almost died, but not because the dragon is very strong. Rather, I'm very stupid because I was caught several times in a row in his similar tricks with the acid cloud. Let's forget about it and pretend that all this did not happen. I almost killed the dragon and there is very little left. The crossbow is really very strong against it. Almost every shot I fired was directly on the target due to the fact that 3 arrows flew out at once. The dragon could not dodge them and just caught them all with his body. The battle turned out to be exciting. After I kill the dragon, I will immediately go to look for the city of the end. I really dream of flying over my cave on wings, or rather, Elytra, on the wings of Elytra. It will be more accurate. In general, I hope you understand what I mean. Finally, I finished off the dragon, and now I can take its egg. Unfortunately, in Minecraft, it is not yet possible to grow your dragon without special mods. So the egg just goes to my collection and we move on. After collecting all the experience that fell from the dragon, I accumulated as many as 70 levels of experience, and that's a lot. If I survive another 100 days in this world, I can create myself a cool new armor and enchant it very well. I took the dragon egg and went to look for the portal. And now I need to get to another dimension of the world of the end. For this, I need Enderman's pearls. The first part sounds very easy, but I also need to find a city in this world. Throwing a couple of pearls, I was able to teleport, and now I need to get some blocks and start trying to get to these islands. While I was building, I was only thinking about one thing. Even if no Enderman decided to attack me from behind and throw me into the abyss, it would be the most disappointing defeat in my life. Just imagine. So much to go through and die at the very end from some stupid monster. I packed some food for the occasion and ran to the city. The battle with the shulkers was very difficult, and they constantly threw me up and made me fly. If I didn't have time to make some decision, I would fly into the sky, fall, and crash. Now I need to fight off all the shulkers and search the chests. But the ilitters are not in this building. They are in the so-called ship. So I go there to look for ilitters and kill the shulkers as soon as I kill all the shulkers in this building. I spent a really lot of time and effort to cope with them. I had to shoot at them at the same time, monitor the level of satiety, and put blocks over me so as not to fly into the sky, how I wanted to return home from this terrible place as soon as possible. I just realized that I could not go into this house and not kill all the shulkers. I could have just gone straight to the ship, picked up the alacrities, and flown home. But for some reason, as usual, I chose the most difficult path and decided to kill absolutely everyone here, as they say. A miser pays twice. So it happened to me. Stupid to fight twice. But what to do? All beaten and in almost broken armor, I still fought them off and took my 5 iron ingots rewards. It's just wonderful. They would put at least a stack of diamonds to satisfy the person who decided to do this, but apparently I will have enough iron. So I got to the ship, and finally I got a decent reward for my suffering. There were several potions here, and the most important thing was the elytra. There were shulkers here too, and I decided not to mess with them for a long time. After several failed attempts to kill them, I just went home on. My new elytras finally calm and rest. How tired I was, even though I wasn't in hell. It was a hell of a 10 days of survival. I was very tired. Well, friends, finally I am back in my world. I have completed all the main tasks I set for 100 days. There are a few little things left to do and a couple of things to consider my survival over. The first one is, of course, the shulkers. I will make 3 blue shulkers, and as promised, I will put all sorts of garbage in there. This will be the punishment of the shulkers for getting me so much while I was trying to get elytra. The next thing I want to do is a shield with an ender banner. By the way, my armor is almost completely broken, but I'm not going to repair it today. I'm too tired to go to hell and look for more netherite. Look at what a handsome guy in front of you, okay? Stop admiring yourself. You need to put the garbage in a shulker, and we'll end here. Everything else in the next 100 days, if of course you want to see it again. Well, dear friends, thank you very much for spending these 100 days of survival in hardcore Minecraft in the world of caves only with me. I was very pleased to shoot this video for you. Although it took me more than 2 weeks, in 100 days we built a wonderful kingdom, killed a dragon and a varden, made several farms, and most importantly, we survived. Do you remember what our house was like, or rather, this place on the first day? If not, then skip to the beginning and come back here to feel all the difference. Thank you for being with me until the very end of this video. Like and subscribe to the channel. Invite friends to my channel. And we will continue our difficult path in survival in hardcore Minecraft. All good luck. And see you again. Everyone is friends for now.